and let's 14. Now, Liereyy likes to pick green a lot. I also realized that there's a lot of people out there who can't do these colors combined, so we're gonna do we're gonna put Liereyy in the red for this series. And game number 1, again, Nilly should be joining at some point, so don't be surprised if you hear him. Incas for Yo in game 1, second semifinal. Oh, gee. You scared me, man. All right, well, hi, Nilly. I said don't be surprised, and then you surprised me. How's it going?
I like surprises.
Yeah.
Okay, so we put the Chinese warrior is not in red. We put Liereyy in red.
Well, remember we talked about this before, I think. Lierey's from Austria, so he's also red.
Yeah, but it's more red.
All right. I'm fine with doing Yo in red. So we do Liereyy in blue, and then we do Yo in red, and Mr. Yo is Incas against Japanese. Fun Civ matchup.
Oh yeah, and that's a really low pick as well, right? Didn't we have Liereyy Japanese? Isn't it his last pick, if we look at that again?
I don't know if it was his last pick, but it was near the end, yeah. So near the end of his Civ draft, so maybe saving some civilizations for later on. Yo, it was one of his later picks, Nilly, but it's Yo. So he's a beast with Incas.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was the only Meso Civ that was given to him, right? We saw that Liereyy realized, okay, Mr. Yo loves to play those Eagles, played them really, really deadly in his earlier rounds as well. And we saw the ban of Ad6 and the pick of Mayans for Liereyy. So Mr. Yo only left with 1 out of 3 Eagle Civs.
The Japanese, they square off well against Incas. One thing that you could see from Incas is the villager rust, but Japanese have the faster attacking men-at-arms. Another thing you can see from Incas is Eagles. Japanese still have the infantry there. Japanese have probably better Dark Age flexibility with the cheap mills, mining camps, and lumber camps as well. So there's many options out there. And yes, Incas are a civilization that have options themselves, but Japanese counter Incas with.
Well, will be lovely to see how Liereyy is trying to approach this one. And look at that weird move. Liereyy is actually collecting gold out of the center of the pack. So in case Mr. Yo stops by, most of the time you only click the 2 gold mines that are closer to your opponent, to the TC, and he might get fooled here, Mr. Yo.
Well, I think before Mr. Yo even finds that gold, he's going to have the militia at his base. This is a really fast rush from Liereyy, and Dave and I were talking about how much Liereyy loves to go with militia into archers. The militia are here, and Yo could be down a villager here if Liereyy blocks properly.
Let's take a look. Instant reaction by Mr. Yo, though. Good start here. But, well, if he forces 4 villagers off, that could be a small win for Liereyy already. Gets them really low.
Oh, it should be a block. It should be a kill here, and that's huge. Yeah, villager down, and the fact that Yo's off of berries. I said it before you hopped in, Nilly. If Liereyy gets off to fast starts in games, he's very, very hard to stop. I also think fast starts in series, because he's not a player I've seen come back from being down a lot of games before.
Probably true. I don't remember a single comeback story of Liereyy, honestly.
Yeah.
Remember him either winning or, well,
or not.
Some rough. Yeah, and I think this cheeky move with going for the non-standard gold there really helped out, because Yo did scout the gold, but didn't see the barracks. Now takes some villagers to fight back for his berries.
Yeah, he's gonna want those berries, and Yo is on the way to feudal. In the first quarterfinal, we saw MBL lose 2 villagers in Dark Age, but then got to feudal faster and ended up coming back with the power spike there. So there's definitely some possibilities here for Yo. It's just going to be really tough to micro this, even with Loom.
Oh, let's take a look. Villager at 15 HP on the big difference there from MBL. He was obviously able to do some damage as well. Ooh, Mr. Yo on point.
Mr. Yo's like, all right, knocked Viper out of the quarterfinals, and now I'm going to use his tricks. Like, I've never seen, I mean, a lot of players are quick walling nowadays, but I've never seen Yo as a player who does that frequently. That's a nice villager save.
Yeah, also, like, for Mr. Yo, it is the trickiest thing, right? He is probably the best player with the worst ping conditions.
That's true as well. Yep. Yeah, I don't know what server they're on, but there's a bit more lag between them. And that villager's still there.
That's sloppy, no?
No? I guess not.
It's genius. I mean, genius, Tristan. My bad. Oh, God.
We have the burning bush over here at Yo's base. Kidding. It's biblical, man. And we'll see a few archers, and Liereyy will probably follow this up with archers. Do you think Liereyy will be... Well, you know, he is tempted. Nilly answered the question I was going to ask. He's going to add more militia and continue to use the Japanese infantry.
Okay. But for now, only the fourth one. 3 villagers on gold, kind of indicating that he wants to follow it up with archers. But yeah, not really looking to put out the bushfire here.
Yeah, I just...
Oh, no.
Yeah, the fire's gone now. I just love how clean the eco looks for Liereyy every time he plays. He gets the early control. And of course, this is the Japanese luxury as well. But he's got 2 lumber camps. He's got 2 ranges coming up. He's still got... You know, he's still threatening Mr. Yo, even though Mr. Yo has that 1 archer there.
What do you think about the archer range placement here by Liereyy? Most players would have kind of built them in front of the gold and wood there at the bottom more.
Yeah, I don't like it. I think that could be something that haunts him later on. It's really surprising. And he's got a lot of confidence to stay out here right now. The man-at-arms upgrades in. The attack speed's there for Japanese too, but you mentioned it last time we cast. Like, how frequently do you see man-at-arms at this stage do much? Normally, it's not going to catch a player like Yo off guard.
Yeah, that's what made the MBL game so special, right? How much he made happen there, but those 2 players are absolutely in top shape at the moment, and you see Mr. Yo, 2 archers, enough to scare those man-at-arms away.
Sure, yeah. And then we've got 2 skirmishers from Liereyy, so I think that was part of his plan. And so suddenly this is looking a bit more awkward for Yo. Now Yo still has the villagers forward there. He's got to add his own skirmishers. But what I like, he does have an eagle out. He could always add a few more. Eagles become more of an option once the men-at-arms are taken care of.
One ambitious villager there wanted to take the fight. Obviously, Man-at-Arms really low on HP there. Interesting thing to mention is that Liereyy did go for double archer range. Something we don't see too often nowadays, simply because it delays your fletching for so long.
Yep, and so he doesn't have fletching, especially Liereyy too. Liereyy loves fast fletching, low numbers, so he can micro. Yo is playing dangerous games with villagers. Like, he has so many weak ones. Is he gonna lose one here? Oh, he actually used the higher HP villager to block temporarily there, Nilly. That was slick.
Oh, crazy move indeed. 6 to 12 military at the moment. Liereyy in full control. Look at that 9 population lead at the moment. That early in the game without too much happening, honestly.
I think that's the 2 ranges catching up. He is housed temporarily. Pretty bad one, actually. Both the villagers and the range is idle. And we'll see. I mean, this is what you expect from Liereyy. Early feudal pressure. It almost feels like Empire Wars when you're watching Liereyy play Standard Age of Empires nowadays. So much pressure. And Yo holds.
Well, he's dancing a bit. Would have loved to see just 1-2 houses there to block off the woodline and make it a bit easier for him. He needs to dance. He needs to use its range advantage. Can't really do it because numbers are just so slim.
Yeah, exactly. Just 2 skirms here. Also, Eagles cannot contribute. I think maybe in the back of Leary's mind, he's okay with getting the Man-at-Arms upgrade. Yes, he hasn't killed anything, but it's always a threat to Eagles, which would be more dominant for Yo if they weren't there.
Fletching now finished for Liereyy, and now it gets really dire. 18 to 7 military, and that only gets lower. Liereyy dives in deep.
Yeah, this is ridiculous, man. He delayed fletching, but it never mattered, Nilly. 7 kills, 3 deaths, despite the good micro from Yo to keep the villagers alive. And this might just be over. This is ridiculous. And it is.
Holy. 16-minute game to start off this best of 7. Hui.
So the first semifinal, I think, was under 2 hours, best of 7, when MBL won. And I was talking about how, well, one game played out into Imp. Another game ended right when someone hit Imp, but all the others ended in Castle. This one ended in Feudal Age. My goodness.
Look at that 9 to 3 KD as well. Rarely do we see a game ending that early, and Liereyy maybe just saw something that we didn't. That he felt, okay, I have a timing there, my archery ranges. If I have the shorter reinforcement lines, I can pressure my opponent so heavily with those skirmishes, and he simply delivered.
Yeah, I mean, it was a straight line to the berries from those archer ranges. That's a good point. And also, Nilly, the reason we didn't like the ranges was because as the game goes on, it's not going to protect the gold. The guy wasn't even walling. He doesn't care. He's just like, I want to kill fast so I can prepare for the final tomorrow. But there's going to be a lot of games, man, and Yo is not going to roll over quickly.
Yeah, and Liereyy just I make that this game won't last too long.
Yeah, that's crazy. But you know what's so interesting about Liereyy? He's probably the player who walls the least in Feudal Age compared to any other pro. I don't know if you agree on that, but I feel like when he does wall in Feudal, it's after he realizes, okay, I'm not going to end the game here. I've actually got to do this thing. I've got to get walls down. Boring.
He is a guy that drush into flushes a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
And that allows you to wall later, right? Because your opponent has to send his army home first. And therefore, I think he is allowed to wall later and gets away with it more.
Okay. Well, we can speculate all we want, but expect a lot more of that. He has Ethiopians at his disposal, Vietnamese at his disposal. Yo's got to know that more militia are coming early. And yeah, we'll hop into game number 2 shortly. Are you surprised at how quick that all developed there? Was there anything that Yo could have done differently, Nilly?
Well, make sure to jump into the game because it's already loaded up, Tristan. And I think, well, just walling your villagers at the berries, right?
Yeah.
Then it's just so much smoother. He was lacking so much food there for so long, and then it made it tough for him to really produce.
Okay.
Only one archer range as well.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the benefit of going one range, but yeah, we'll be in the next game. Sorry, this bug continues to haunt me where I have to restart my game in between games. So my game's just about to load up and I'll be in with you. What Civ matchup are we looking at there?
We're looking at Vietnamese against Mongols. Liereyy is going for Vietnamese. Quite surprising pick, honestly. Not really considered to be one of the strongest civilization. Obviously, the bonus on this map where you feel like, okay, laming and stealing some sheep might be a good option. But Mongols should be good against that. Liereyy sees the starting TC of his opponent. You are jumping into the game now, I hear.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to switch the colors back. We'll keep these colors consistent throughout the day today. Yeah, 2 laming civs and another civ for Liereyy where he can go for the militia into archers quite well.
Yeah, I think so as well. His map, though, if we look at the golden berries, well, he will need to build his archer ranges pretty much to the front.
I just got back up to normal time here, Nilly. Yeah, Liereyy, he sees where Yo's at, and he's tempted maybe to take that elephant. But I think Yo's too close to all of that, and it would be a mistake to do that. Yeah, the golds are on the front. It's true.
I don't like that Mr. Yo is already pushing deer. Look at that. He has so little vision that he goes to what I would call a horrible lumber camp there. He had such a safe lumber camp in the back.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's sometimes the downside of Mongols. You feel like you need the hunt and you don't scout as much even having that bonus. And it's kind of common for Mongols to go for just 1 lumber camp as well. So it's not like he's going to be on 2. He might opt to do that later. We'll see. Did Liereyy scout the lumber camp? Yeah, he could see that the wood's being chopped there at least. And he's come right on home. What I'm waiting for is, will there be a pre-mill barracks? There's gotta be.
Well, 4 and wood kind of indicating that exactly that is
Liereyy
happening.
lost the villager underneath his TC.
Ooh.
He lost the villager, Nilly.
And he has 5 really low HP villagers as well. That is so weird.
What happened?
4.
Wow, okay. Well, that's going to set him back a bit. And he's making the mill. So he's not thinking about getting the drush out. Not yet, anyways.
Okay, he's missing 2 sheep at the front. Kind of unfortunate. Do you think he will start considering pushing some deer in? No, he takes the long route around.
Yeah, I think he's looking for the goats. So by the time he finds them, it's going to be decision time if he wants to drush or not. So there's the argument to be made against drushing Mongols. Because Mongols are normally in Feudal Age so quick that you're not able to really get the damage in, and then they're in Feudal and you're delayed and stuck in Dark Age. So maybe Liereyy thinking about... I mean, it might have had something to do with the bill loss as well, but maybe he's keeping that in mind. Man at arms maybe, but there's still problems. Like, what do you do if Mongols get momentum against you as Vietnamese?
Well, obviously you have to play defensively then. Have a solid civilization to defend. Your eco upgrades are cheaper. You get your eco rolling. Can easily defend with archers, skirm, but getting on the map and getting the aggression will certainly be tricky, and that's where Mongols shine so much.
Yep. I like how Yo is thinking about the wood problem, Nilly. He's taking the back lumber. So now if he gets towered or there's archers there, he can just relocate them. It's a long journey, but he's taking advantage of the back wood line. And that might be the real problem area for Yo. That and maybe, I'd say stone, he's got a stone in the back, but I wouldn't even have Mangadai on your mind at this stage of the game if you're Mongols. It's going to take forever to get there.
Yeah, it feels like more, okay, we have the aggressive wood line, mill there at the front as well, all the gold spots. It feels way more likely that an aggressive siege workshop will be dropped than that we see Mango die before minute 35.
For those that saw how MBL played Mongols in his quarterfinal, game 1, he was very defensive, which is an MBL thing to do, but he tried to make the Mangadai without having a lot of map control, and Velez was able to punish that. I think Yo is going to think more about being aggressive, taking control of the game, and then making that switch if the time allows. But man, I'm looking at Lierey's eco. He's got 1 villager on 2 separate goats. He already lost a villager in Dark Age. I mean, after game 1, I was not expecting things to be this sloppy from his perspective in game 2.
It is weird. And Mr. Yo, not really scared of Liereyy out there on the map, did actually go to Feudal Age without Loom. Now builds the stable. Liereyy instantly scouts it.
Yeah, and Liereyy might think twice about sticking around here, because the longer you're here, Yo's going to see that. Yeah, Yo's hunting down that scout. He's looking for it. He knows he's in feudal. He has the extra speed and attack. I think Liereyy might just make it away. Oh, or not. Yep, this is going to be good for... It's going to be close, actually. There's a hill there.
I think Liereyy can simply run. Don't you think so? Like,
yeah,
he should be reaching Feudal Age any second. What's happening here? Why is he taking this fight?
Is he walling? What the... I'm so confused. After game 1, Liereyy has had a disaster for starting game 2. I guess he was walling up.
In archer range without being on gold? What year is it, Tristan?
It's 2003 again. Spearmen and skirmishers coming. What on earth? I mean, you mentioned the bonuses of Vietnamese, and they can be quite greedy in this situation. You can get all your eco upgrades. But not only is he not on gold, he's also walled using his gold. So that can always be ranged if Yo makes a switch. Yo might even be confused himself right now. What on earth?
He sees the archer range. How many golds did Mr. Yo scout? He's actually scouted all 3 golds, so he should have a good intel. He knows that Liereyy can only go for skirms right now.
Yeah, and if like, Yo against Viper was just a masterclass on how to control games, how to deny resources. Yo's game sense is so good, and he's making a range already for some skirms, walling up. You can do this with Mongols. If you can't kill fast, you can just fall back. Start investing into farms, and to get a few skirms out in this situation. Here comes Liereyy, 2003 build.
And yeah, needs to get some skirms out. The moment you have 2 skirms, though, you easily defend this one, so shouldn't be a big problem. Mr. Yo continues building scouts here, up to 5 already.
All right, and Lierey's still not on gold. So I guess in this position, you don't want to make archers because Yo's already on skirm. So it sounds crazy, but maybe you just go... I mean, he's going to give up on map control, which is really bad. But maybe he has to tower his gold soon and goes up to a stable or maybe even Castle Age and Knights.
Just look at Lierey's move. Goes out there, 2 spearmen, 2 skirms, scouts in archer range, and he knows, okay, I'm countered here. I will never do any damage, and goes back. That's something I would never do, but it's actually the right choice.
Yeah, I think you play defensive and passive here and count on those, you know, the eco technologies that you got. But it's not Liereyy, man. This is not how Liereyy tends to win games. It's so peculiar to see.
Someone in chat just said this strategy is older than Liereyy himself.
Oh, man. Yeah, I think actually I'm wrong saying 2003 as well. As he goes back into his base, I think actually earlier than that full trash was the meta. It was forwards, though, back then, so it was a different time.
Thing is, Liereyy, he doesn't need that much on gold, right? I think 4 villages on gold might be enough. Just get Botkin, get Elite Skirm. That's kind of it. Sees the army now. Sees fletching. Should be somewhat scared.
Hey, this is why I think Liereyy needs a tower. Like, sneak stable in the back. Tower. Because your gold's going to be ranged. Even if you wall like this, your gold's going to be ranged by enemy skirmishers. It is Liereyy, so...
He will be fine, right? The gold is on a hill that he can use. So fighting skirm v skirm is okay for him. He also knows he used his archery range consistently, and his opponent had to have the archery range later.
Yeah, fair. Is there a gap between those palisades? I can't quite tell. But that would be a pretty big deal. Yeah, Liereyy even buying more space for himself to fight. So not how Liereyy would have wanted to open up the game, but maybe he feels like the only way to deal with Mongols. Again, is there a hole there? There's a hole there! Alright, well, villager goes down. I guess it could have been worse.
Not pretty here. KD now 1-4 for Liereyy. And yeah, just tries to defend with the skirmishes. Like, what is his transition out of here? Like, Mr. Yo builds a forward siege workshop. Liereyy is dead.
That's why I think eventually he wants to go stable. But yeah, it's very weird. Okay, so if this... Do you think Yo is tempted to tower this gold?
I think yes, but I still think he won't, simply because he has so much army there.
Yeah.
And he's annoying it anyways.
Yeah, he's controlling the position anyways. Yeah, it's a good point. I think maybe if it was 2016, Yo towers that. If it was Vivi, he towered it in the 5th minute. But Vivi's hasn't made it this far. But yeah, I think the meta is just so suited towards keeping your eco strong and controlling things with military and not investing into the forward tower. But it looks tempting.
Okay, 12 skirmish here for the defense for Liereyy. Mr. Yo is annoying with his 5. Tries to run around a bit with the scouts and sees the market of Liereyy. And that's most of the time a good indicator that the opponent is not up to castle age yet.
Yep. It might buy some res. It looks like the uptimes will be pretty freaking close. And the economies. And then I guess as far as comp goes, it is a split comp for Mr. Yo. He's got only 5 skirms and 5 scouts. He's got less military numbers. If this becomes ranged unit v ranged unit, we'll be fine for Liereyy. And plus he's Vietnamese with the extra HP on the skirms.
Yeah, I think Mr. Yo won't stay on those skirmishes. It feels more likely that forward siege workshop plus second stable.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've got to make a change here on my end, everybody. No worries. Yeah, I think we'll see stables, and then probably from that, a play would be to go for knights and potentially camels if you're Mongols.
Yeah, it doesn't make the biggest difference in my opinion. Just have some meat shield. I think the Mangonel is the key unit here against Liereyy, right? He's so cornered, and Liereyy knows, okay, I died to any early castle age push, so he goes for a stable himself. Even double stable, I like that choice.
Yeah, double stable is good. Control the map. I mean, so far, Liereyy, he has lost more villagers, as many villagers to an elephant as he has Mr. Yo, so I suppose that's a positive.
Positive for the elephants, yeah. They can tell some stories.
Yeah. It's like, he might not be here, but let me tell you what he did. There's legends being told.
What's a typical first name for an elephant?
Oh, God.
Klaus.
Francisco. What'd you say, Charles?
Klaus.
Wow.
Manfred? I like Manfred.
People are saying Dumbo. Yeah, Dumbo the elephant's a thing.
Well, that's too typical, no?
Yeah,
that's like a known elephant
be
already.
Be creative, people. Bessie, Harry, Elbert? Nilly. I have to say, people are coming up with some weird suggestions. The suggestions are about as weird as Lierey's play has been so far. And Lierey's moving out, finally.
Yeah, but only with 2 spearmen there. That could be sniped.
Should be sniped.
Mr. Yo's going for it. No, scum number isn't that high either. And the spearmen still surviving. Knights are now out, and that should be a clear up and a half.
Yeah, like, I guess Liereyy was thinking, oh, I'm going to go knights. He's not going to expect it. He's going to continue with skirms. But Yo only had a few of them. So I think it should have been clear what was going to happen there. But Liereyy is really confident when it comes to micro, even in a situation like this. More confident than I would be, that's for sure. I'd be running back to my base.
Well, And I think you're doing the right choice there. It is Bloodlines for both players, but +1/+1 for Mr. Yo already. That's a good fight for Mr. Yo. Not sure why Lierey's taking it.
Yeah, it's a weird one. He runs forward with the skirms. He's so confident in these fights. Feels like maybe the damage output from the skirms is enough to make the difference with all the upgrades or the lack of upgrades. There will be a monastery for Yo, and good micro from Yo to save that, but I think it will go down. But the skirmishers, say goodbye, Liereyy. Now some of them.
Still around. I wouldn't be surprised if he jumps into the TC with those.
Yeah, yeah. Yo is going to be on 3 town centers. Interesting. So he's on 2 already. And then the third is where? Oh, it's forward. So it's in front of that wood line. And that was the wood line you had pointed out as a problem area. So it's not the prettiest TC ever, but I think that's a good area to protect.
Yeah, well, he won't get too much wood there, right? But yeah, that's the big problem with KOTD Arabia, right? So many holds.
Yeah.
You aren't always happy with the TCs that you can build.
Yep. Just 2 TCs for Liereyy, so he's floating a bit more in the way of food, you'd think, to make some knights. Similar comps. We have 2 stables, 1 monastery, 1 siege workshop. Only difference is that Yo's got more melee units, and the skirmisher is kind of useless right now for Liereyy. But I know it's Liereyy. I know he'll be tempted to use those against monks.
Bit surprised. What's Lierey's plan there with his 5 knights? Like, there's no hole, right?
I guess he's hoping that there's going to be some type of a gap, so he can start to take control over the fights. But yeah, he's not going to break through. And Yo will deal with that with the camels. That's no problem for Mr. Yo. And Liereyy will run on home. This is about to get interesting on the front. I hope their Maganel micro is good. And their monk micro. 3 monks for Liereyy.
Looks like Mr. Yo even has Husbandry and Liereyy doesn't. So that is lovely that he will get some kills there. Now triple monk conversion though.
Oh!
Gets 1, gets 2.
Oh man, and now the scouts and the knights move in after the monks from Liereyy. Looks like Lierey's gonna lose all of his monks, and Yo will still have the monks alive. Look at the score! Look at the KD! Look at the eco! Yo is ahead in every single aspect.
Hanging on almost forward. Let's take a look. Liereyy is having 1 already. Is having 2 more. Production cancels 1. This is going to be tricky. Down to only 1 monk. Now gets the second one. Villager slight advantage there for Mr. Yo as well. Do you think Liereyy has to build 30C soon, or is he under too much pressure?
I think he's under too much pressure. He might do it because it's at an insane... They're both playing at an insane level, but I think you've got to put that food... or wood rather, into farms so you can get a few more units. Yeah, there's the TC. And if he gets the TC up and then he's able to fight back here, you never know. He would be falling further and further behind. But Yo, with the conversions, he gets 1, he gets 2.
Gets 3.
3.
I think.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Oh, that's so good for him. And well, that just cements his advantage. But two Mangles doing some solid work now. Do you think that's enough army for Mr. Yo? Just army value is pretty close, surprisingly.
Yeah, what's tough is the monks. Like, this fight could swing into Lierey's control with some conversions, but Yo has more monks and could get more conversions. However, there's Maganels and could snipe those monks, so it's really tough to say. Yo with the shot, I didn't expect that to get a kill. And I guess the Maganel will now go down because it's out of position.
Big advantage here for Mr. Yo is that he has way more vision as well, so he can convert from longer distance since he has the houses there.
Oh boy.
Gets the conversion,
Oh
Mangle
boy.
dies.
That's got to be, I mean, that's huge. Yo still got monks back here, so we can still get additional conversions. All the monks are down for Liereyy. The Maganel has just come out of the Siege Workshop to pressure the gold. It's 6 military versus 21. And this game might not be ending quite as quick as Liereyy ended game number 1, but I think that it's going to be just as dominant performance for the winner here. This is, Mr. Yo is everywhere.
Now goes for a very desperate raid, but 3 camels easily chasing that one down. And is it time for Liereyy to make a tech switch? Or like, he can't come back with just continuing the same thing, but starting with 0 numbers against 15.
So if he would have taken a good fight there and then had the stone to build a castle, he protects both these golds, then he can start making that tech switch. But I think there's no world in which he can comfortably make a tech switch, and even if he gets a castle up, as Liereyy sacrifices some knights to take out the siege, the castle's not going to be in front. Oh, wait. Okay, well, it's not in front of the TC, but it's not as ideal as it would have. He would have wanted.
But what keeps Mr. Yo from diving here?
Nothing.
There's 1 knight, 1 monk against 15 knights, and an aggressive castle by Mr. Yo.
So Yo's like, I don't need to deny this forever. I just need to get my own castle up, and here come the villagers. 15 villagers forward. Mr. Yo making his mark here in these semifinals. Yeah, this is game over. Wow, what a performance. 79 villagers. More eco behind this. We barely looked at Yo's base in this game.
Yeah, that's so true. Well, he was walled and then just applied the pressure. It's simply because Liereyy played so defensively and allowed the aggression in his face.
Is it too harsh as casters to say that Liereyy played bad in this game?
Well, there will always be people saying it for us. You can always say like, yeah, they still beat us. Let's say he didn't play up to his standards.
Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, without the elephant killing that villager in Dark Age, the word bad wouldn't come to mind, you know? But it was overall very sloppy, and Yo punished the lack of a game plan for Liereyy. 53 kills, 31 units lost, and I'm going to quickly restart the game before we get into Game 3. Nilly, I didn't ask you what your prediction was for the series. Did you have a prediction?
I said it's pretty close. I gave both players the same chance of actually winning the tournament. I only said that I would be really surprised if we don't see at least 6 games.
Yeah, okay, fair. Not taking any big risks, but fair.
If I had to guess, it's 4 to Yo, but 4 to Liereyy wouldn't surprise me at all. Either.
Yeah, exactly. Well, right now it's 1-1. So anyone who might have predicted a sweep, not only are you've got to get off of drugs, you were incorrect on that. But we haven't seen the top tier civilizations picked yet. I think Yo did draft Mongols second, so he likes his Mongols, but there's still plenty of solid civilizations out there, and I like how the players are pacing themselves with the strength of the civs they pick.
I'm not really sure how much of an advantage it is to delay them. Some people saying, yeah, you don't want to start with your strongest civs. I didn't understand the logic yet why you should.
Yeah, fair. Well, I think the only way it looks bad is if you lose the series and then you have strong civs available. I'm going to have to think back to
I actually disagree with that even.
What's that?
Yeah. I actually disagree with that.
You think so?
Like, if you're down to 0, you aren't forced to take your best civ in game 3 because you need to win every 3 games anyways.
That's true.
So you basically only have to put yourself in the position to have the highest win percentage for all 3 games.
But I think logically it does put players under more pressure if they're at a disadvantage in the scoreline, right? I don't know. Maybe everyone's just a robot at the high level. But if I'm down 2 games, I'm feeling a lot worse than I am if it's tied 1-1. So, I don't know. I understand what you're saying with that. And with best of 7s, speculating over the civs is even worse than a best of 5 because there's so many civilizations available.
Yeah, I think it's also a bit random going wild there. It makes it easier once we have like different maps and can see some tendencies, what civilizations are good on what maps. But here, I honestly think it's a bit random. But also, if you want to learn more about that, there is a nice insight of Mr. Yo translated on Reddit. He said what he thought about the picks of Viper, and that sounded like it made a lot of sense as well.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see that. Try and get the draft here. Guys, remember, Mr. Yo beat Viper 3-0. It was not a fluke victory. He looked really good. Viper said after the fact, obviously, he was disappointed that he had lost, but he felt like he's in good shape in general. So I think the level has risen in many ways. I'm looking at the Civ draft now, just so people are aware. Yo picked Mongols, and Yo had...
also jump into the game.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, if we got a game, we'll just do that. Yeah.
But yeah, you had Mongols. You had also Malians, I'm pretty sure. If I remember correctly, Liereyy had Lithuanians in the draft.
You know what? Wow, Nilly, you're so attentive, man. You're right. Look at this. It's almost like you were in the game or something. The colors... Well, I think we'll keep it consistent, but Lierey's like, I lost a game. I've got to go yellow now instead of green. That's interesting. Liereyy is playing Lithuanians in the north of the map and Malians in the south. A matchup we've seen before, Nilly, and a really fun one.
Well, it is both kind of are strong in Castle Age, right? Lithuanians want to fight for the relics. Malians, so good. Like, have the full tech tree in Castle Age. You can go crossbow, skirm, monka an option. The knights, you can go siege. And I just love Castle Age full-on aggression. And I think this matchup is inviting it.
Yeah, it's a fun matchup. And I think if it's going towards Castle Age and the strength's there, then I think it comes down to control leading up to it. Perfect example of what you don't want is the previous game. Liereyy was on the back foot in early feudal, and then was on the back foot in early castle. So I think this game will have to be more competitive when it comes to the mid game, and I expect it to be as well. Malians do have, yes, Lithuanians start with more food, but I've seen more often than not, at least with players other than Liereyy, scouts from Lithuanians. Malians oftentimes go for early drushes, and
sorry for interrupting.
No, you're fine.
Not really sure why Mr. Yo feels like taking that one. Probably wants to open men-at-arms and thinks, okay, if my opponent is going for scouts, gets an extra hit off.
Yeah, he does get an extra hit. I actually like how he stayed there, because staying there means that Liereyy has to pull a villager, and that's just temporary idle time. Lierey's about to add a barracks. Yeah, we're going to see a drush from him, and not scouts.
Interesting. Okay, Liereyy is a guy who loves to mix it up, right? In his quarterfinal, he also played a drush with Khmer.
I know.
Think that's my first.
Yeah. Like, if it wasn't Liereyy, if it was a coaching session, you're just like, don't do this. But with Liereyy, anytime he makes militia into archers, it seems to work out for him.
Also, though, in a coaching session, you're coaching meta. He is playing his opponent, right? He's trying to break the meta. So that makes way more sense.
Well, normally I'd agree with you there, but I feel like Liereyy does it against everyone. Maybe he feels like everyone is so much worse at dealing with it than he would be, but Liereyy, I think regardless of his opponent, he's going to want to make some militia throughout a series. Like, what, Japanese, Vietnamese, Lithuanians, Ethiopians? He has so many good drush civs.
Well, let's see how he plays. Didn't really go for too many cavalry civ, right? I don't really remember who has Franks. Lithuanians could have been an option for, well, also the scout opening is not going for
Oh my god.
Militia are missing each other.
Okay, so if you look at Liereyy, he has not scouted the barracks. So he might have an idea because he just saw a villager on gold, but he has not scouted the barracks, and so he does not know the militia arriving, and here they are right before Loom. And good reaction from Liereyy to quick wall, but Loom was a bit too late, and Yo should get a Vil kill.
Oh, that is so rough. And honestly,
what?
What?
Was it not on 3 HP?
I thought it was on 4 HP and then it on 1 HP.
Yeah,
that was weird.
that would make more sense. I thought that was dead, and I think Yo did as well, so Liereyy a bit lucky there.
I need to rewatch that one.
I didn't really pay close attention because I just assumed. Here comes Liereyy, and Mr. Yo is already prepped with some walls. So he's got his gold in the back, his berries protected. Liereyy is on the way to feudal age behind this, though, which is so sick.
10:35, really smooth timing indeed. And Mr. Yo, quite surprising. Like, what is he up to? He now goes for Loom, but only 300 food.
Yeah. But is this not... Like, I feel like with a standard build, you have 2 or 3 farms, so it's really weird to me. I think it's 2 farms, if I'm being exact. It's weird to me how he hasn't clicked yet. Definitely could have done so.
I think he might play this fast castle and just build a mill in the back.
Yep. That's dangerous against Liereyy because Liereyy will usually go one range and fast archers, but I think I'm with you here. If he hasn't clicked up to feudal yet, if he's just now building farms, this might be a fast castle build. Pretty risky against the aggression from Liereyy, but so far the walls are up and he will have access to the resources he needs.
Sends way more villagers on the zebra there. I'm a bit surprised. Normally the spot where you want to mill, now 7 on zebra.
Yeah, maybe no mill for him. The drush could still really work well. And Liereyy just brings his militia back, which is a smart move. He's protecting the ostrich. Yo will kill that. Yeah, Yo's like, I'll take this if nothing else. Or not.
Well, Liereyy doesn't want to. Adds another militia after losing one. Is going for the archer range and goes aggressively. Feels like he can defend with villagers at home.
Yeah.
Not that scared.
Yeah, so a few quick walls there. Has the proper amount on gold. Double bid axe, man at arms. Here comes that pressure. Yo is just now on the way to feudal. He will take in all the food, it seems, from the hunt. Will he be able... I mean, the berries could be pressured. The woodline could be pressured. It just feels like such a risky strategy to go FC here.
Just think about it. Like, it's not a Liereyy thing, but the forward tower behind this woodline.
Yeah. Yeah, Lierey's going to want all of his villagers at home. But you're right. Certain players would already be sending villagers forward to tower that.
Yeah. And I think it would absolutely be the right decision, right?
But what Liereyy finds himself in these situations where people can't wall behind too frequently because he'll have an archer there so quickly.
Village at the front next to the archer range. Tristan should probably go down. Is he trying to delete the house there? Scout even saved.
Oh, will the villager get the scout? No, the scout saved. Oh, nice job, yo.
Archer misses as well.
Yeah. And the archer's at home, too. It has not come forward. So this is precious time for Mr. Yo. And as I look at this, it seems a lot more likely that Mr. Yo might be able to get away with the fast castle.
Food isn't too hot, and honestly, right? 600 here. Not the biggest amount of resources. Where's he building? Oh, he built a stable.
Okay. So, do you think like with that back gold, maybe you turn this into a bit of market abuse?
I think it's more of a blacksmith to get the forward siege workshop up.
Ah, yeah,
for
fair.
himself.
Okay. So, knights and siege, possibly. But low eco knights and siege. And he's dropped off the wood there. Market. I think he's going to... Like, Malians get the gold bonus as well, right?
Yeah,
So, you send a few extra villagers to gold, and then you just buy a ton of res. It's a bit lackluster at the start, I think, because you're not going to have the blacksmith. As, oh, Liereyy could break through?
Tower might be going up behind this one, and honestly, I'm not sure if I like this one too much, this tower. It will stop the breakthrough, but it will not really defend your woodline.
Yeah, now I think he's got to go for either house walls or stone walls on the right side. Wait, no, he just bought stone. He just bought stone for another tower when he needs it. Interesting. He's going to place it there.
Should probably go up. 5 villagers there, not the biggest problem. Meanwhile, at home, Liereyy easily out-microing those militia is what I'm saying, but I'm wrong.
Oh, no, he out-microed it. 2 HP is still fine against militia. Not the first time in this game we've seen Liereyy keep units alive on their last breath. You're right.
Okay, so
a tower behind that woodline would have been so sick.
Mr. Yo now sends 2 villagers out. Wants to get the aggressive siege workshop up. Tristan, I predict that Mr. Yo will sit at 200 wood. Okay. Okay.
Well, he's going to get more wood. Continue. He'll get to 200 again.
And he has a blacksmith and therefore can build a siege workshop.
Boom. Great
Good on
prediction.
him.
Now, Liereyy, does he know that those villagers have escaped? Doesn't look like he does.
He sees that the palisade wall is open, no? And that's such a giveaway. Or
Yeah,
does
maybe. Yeah, maybe it's
Ah,
true.
he didn't scout the walls earlier.
So he
But
wouldn't... I see, okay.
That looks so sus,
Well,
honestly.
I feel like it's easy for us to say from this position that that's the case. Now, he finally gets to the woodline. It's unlike Liereyy to not at least have had one archer on this woodline earlier. He's had like 5 minutes. And knights will come out and clear that up now, so that's the worry for Liereyy. And now Liereyy might be thinking, wait a second, is he forwarding me? I don't see anything yet. This is...
Would love to see archers patrolling on the outside. Liereyy walled the complete top side there.
Yeah.
But he's still... Oh, that siege workshop. And Liereyy is not patrolling far enough.
Nilly, it has been a challenge, a personal challenge of mine, to not say the name Huang as frequently. Because I bring it up more than I should at times. But Huang has changed the game in some ways. The forward siege workshop, 2 stable knights, low eco all-in push. Didn't see it as frequently until DE and a certain player who likes to pick a lot of Celts. So can Liereyy hold? Will he spot this?
think it's also the map a lot, right? Because it works so much better. Like this gold spot that Liereyy has to work with on the Arabia that we had on the ladder earlier, you always had a defensive gold spot or could wall so much more. And then the strategy is just so much weaker.
Interesting. So Liereyy might be okay here. Against this type of a push, you just need to take good early engagements. Whether the early storm and the archers and the man-at-arms have worked well. One knight down, one scorpion down, and Mr. Yo has to back away with his forward, at least for the time being.
That was horrible by Mr. Yo.
Yeah.
Now 2 knights out. Can take some more shots. That could be a lot of splash damage. Liereyy with a clumped up formation. Okay, now spreads it.
Yeah, a little bit more patience for Yo here. It might wait for the second scorpion and the second monk, or sorry, the first monk and a few more knights. Liereyy probably needs to back away, and I love the stable edition. Stable edition is so important here.
Yeah. Now, it feels not unnatural with Lithuanians as well, right? So, really love that one. Also, as you mentioned in another of our casts, Redemption Monks could be lovely. And Monks, something you won't mind either with Lithuanians. Goes for Pikemen first.
Pikemen. It's also worth pointing out that Liereyy sold 100 stone to have this uptime. So he couldn't build a tower. Not that that would have been the play, but oh geez. Liereyy off of golds. He does have golds over to the other side, but he's not on it yet. This is what this type of push can do. It can hit you at just the right time.
Or if you're playing yourself at just the worst time. And Pikeman crossbow coming in. We couldn't afford Botkin. Economy in shambles. Not a single villager working on gold at the moment. Some food, and yeah, he just uses the market more. Sold another 100 stone here.
Yeah, he did. He sold 100 stone. So what's he gonna have? Crossbow and pikeman. I mean, everything that Yo has out counters Lierey's push, or Lierey's mass, but Liereyy could micro it. If the knights and the scouts are used effectively, you never know. This is going to be fun to watch.
And still, no siege workshop, no monastery, the typical buildings that you want to have against that, right?
True.
So, I think Mr. Yo, he's actually building towards a really good army, simply because he has siege and his opponent is not really having a counter to that. So we get into the rare scenario that time is actually ticking for Mr. Yo.
Wait, what do you mean? I'm sorry.
Well, most of the time,
ticking?
if you like Hoang all in, you have to do damage with your army, right?
Sure.
But at the moment, Mr. Yo's army gets so much stronger because his opponent is not really building counter units.
What I'm confused on is you said the clock is ticking for Mr. Yo. You mean positively or negatively?
Positively.
Okay. That's why I was confused.
Okay,
I thought it was.
yeah,
I was thinking of the wrong type of clock.
Yeah. No, I only have good clocks.
Nearly.
German clocks is like efficiently, like it's 4 p.m. It's time to drink beer.
Oh,
that's
true.
The clock is ticking for us.
Okay, that's not true. I was in Hamburg. People drink way before 4 p.m. Come on. Like have for Liereyy.
We didn't say 4 a.m. or p.m. Tristan.
That's true. Yeah, 4 a.m. That's breakfast. And and there's also, it's not too difficult for Yo to switch out of this and go into a boom. His eco's not the worst at home.
3 monks can get some conversions.
There will be a Maganel here.
Okay, that one has to hit big.
Yeah, again, the light cav knight could take out the scorpions and the Maganels, but the monks are still there. There's not many knights for Liereyy, I'll say that. And now the pikemen pop out of the TC, and now they're back in the TC. There's the Maganel.
How important?
That's so
Viking
cool from
dance?
Liereyy. Like, surprise. Takes out a
kills.
scorpion. We'll have another surprise here with the pikemen.
Some more villages down. Knights are diving in deep.
Is that worth it? Is that worth it? The monks are on the right side. They're all exposed. The monks will go down.
How did that happen? How were the monks there?
I wasn't even paying attention to it, nearly. That's normally not where they would ever be.
The monks need to be behind the scorpions, and then he could have healed all his knights because he has so many low HP knights now.
I think he's switching. He was adding the TC. I think he was booming. He's shifting focus a little bit. Remember, Liereyy doesn't have the second TC, everyone, so Yo still should be better off. He's got 12 more villagers, which is crazy.
Dropping TC number 3 now. And yeah, that's just so good for him. Maginal Dance continues. If he trades off 1 for 1, that is good for him. Won't get the kill.
Oh, wow. But the micro, and now he could trade off 1 for 1? Nope. Okay. Maginal might end up going down. But yeah, okay, so the monks go down, Nilly. But look at the losses Lierey's about to take. He could lose his TC. He will have the potential to counterattack, but this is so bad for Liereyy economically.
Yeah, but that's such a bad counter-attacking army as well, right? Pikemen and some crossbow without Botkin after losing your starting
Oh, and the TC went down, and so it's GG. Mr. Yo has responded twice now with clinical games. We have yet to see a game go to the Imperial Age. So maybe not the most competitive games, but a competitive series.
Absolutely. And that is brutal, right? It's tricky. Does Liereyy maybe not know how to counter this? Because remember, Liereyy is a guy that does not play ladder.
He does not play Huang.
Yeah, he does not play Huang. And every day, every player that plays ladder plays against Huang on a daily basis.
Well, and it's also, when Liereyy does play ranked games, he plays very early EU time. So I think he plays at like, well, for my time, like maybe like 10 a.m., 11 a.m., and then I think he moves on. And Huang is never on at that time. So it's both inactivity on the ladder and also maybe not playing actively when Huang plays, even though Huang plays all the time. And Nilly, he didn't add the monastery. He didn't even think of going redemption monks. He didn't go siege workshop until it was way too late. I think you're right. He just doesn't have experience against that type of a push.
I think the worst thing was that he knew his opponent is going fast castle into a stable, so most likely knights.
Yeah.
And he didn't use his archers to scout.
Yeah, that's true.
It is so likely that there's a siege workshop coming. And he had 4 archers just sitting next to his gold.
Yeah, it's true. He did find it, but I think it was too late at that time.
He could deny it.
Yeah.
He has army, his opponent doesn't.
Mm-hmm. So easy to say for us, but man, it is interesting. Like, normally, Lierey's able to get by with his lack of ranked games, right? Because he just trains for tournaments, shows up when he needs to. Certainly, regardless, we can't question his skill level. But yeah, maybe that cost him, and maybe Yo thought about that one. Because I wasn't liking Yo's position with the Drush FC there. I feel like it's so risky, but it worked out.
The map wasn't inviting to it, right? But Liereyy, not really the guy that punished it well, at least this time. But still, solid picks for Liereyy left, right? He has Mayans, he has Franks, he has Khmer. He will have games with way more map control to come.
Yeah, all right. Well, hey, do you know... Let me know if the next game starts, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Did it start already? Oh, it did. Okay. Oh, God. You're kidding.
A classic matchup to come.
So let me get this straight. We just spent the last 5 minutes talking about how Liereyy doesn't have a lot of experience versus Huang. And Yo, after that win, goes for Celts. This is so perfect. We'll get to see rounds 2 here, potentially. Liereyy in the blue in the south, playing as the Franks. Great Civ. And the first time he's picked... Well, not the first time he's picked a strong scout Civ, because he had Lithuanians, but maybe the first time he will actually go scouts. And then Yo's in the north, playing as the Celts, Nilly.
And we also said, okay, Liereyy, he didn't really have the map control to deal with the extra siege workshop. Franks should be more active on the map, should go for a lot of scouts. So I think this one at least should play out differently. Yeah,
it should play out in the feudal age. I think, again, it's so risky to go FC. But it doesn't mean that the matchup is all that good for Franks, does it, right? You've got the faster spears up against you. Celts have great eco in the mid game. Their booming is incredible. I would say that Franks, in many ways, it's an even Civ matchup because Franks have probably the better eco in Dark Age and Feudal with the Forge bonus, and then you also have the farm bonus. They have the cheap castles. They have Axemen as an option against Pikemen. Oh no, I like it, and it's a classic, like you said.
Mm-hmm. X-Men, obviously tricky if we get into the low economy scenario, but yeah, certainly the transition will be lovely there. X-Men, once we get to them, could be a really sick thing. Also, we have to mention Lierey's map. Looks pretty solid with a lot of woodlines.
Yeah. Also, if he were to lose the main gold, he could so easily just shift over to the gold on the left. Like, if a Huang push comes in, I'm with you. I think this plays out into feudal, but yeah, he could wall off the wood lines. Actually, his wood line looks amazing unless there's ranged units behind it. Then he only has this small nugget in the south. So that's something we have to keep in mind.
No, yeah, actually pretty true. The other side, Yo's map, well, very, very small. That could be like one screen wall in how this map looks like.
Yeah, looking at it, could wall to the right, could wall in the middle. Yeah, we'll see. You know what's interesting? I think Liereyy is already telling us what he's going for. He's got 3 on wood, and he's already pre-walled the palisades. So I think this will be fast feudal for Liereyy unless he wants to change his game plan at some point.
And on the other side, Mr. Yo has 4 on wood. He's sending the villager out there. It looks like a drush to me.
Yeah. All right. So Liereyy knows what Celts are capable of. This is a better fight for Liereyy, I think, but the villager could come over. Yeah, Liereyy runs away. 29 HP versus 30 HP. Oh, never mind. It's going to be a close one, but yeah, the drush is going to be coming, so Liereyy probably needs to get out of there.
Elephant micro at home. And so what are we playing here? Pop 19 scouts, trying to clear up the drush and then transition probably. Mr. Yo, he is the guy that then can decide, do I want to go for feudal age? Do I want to make something funky happen in castle age? And also feudal age, is it double archery range? Are we going for a lot of infantry? Is he adding men-at-arms? That's simply the beauty of Celts.
So, as Yo weakens the elephant with his town center there, what do you think about Liereyy playing this into pop 21 archers? It is Liereyy after all, but then again, he's Franks. Too crazy?
I think if I have to name someone who would go for it, then it is Liereyy most likely.
Yeah. I think seeing as he's getting loom and about to up and going to lumber camps, it's probably not that. No barracks yet. Won't be going to gold. So yeah, going for scouts, knowing the pressure's going to come in, and Yo has yet to even find where Liereyy is. But he's on the way.
Ooh. Yeah, militia walking into a good direction though. Scout knows about the gold, sees the woodland there, and can he find a villager at the front?
I think it's a bit too risky with the town center there.
Yeah.
All right, so Liereyy prepared this time. The other woodline's going to be nasty to wall in, but it looks like he's in the process of doing it. I think what's really important to look at now is the uptime, and this is so good. Like, if you're new to this game, or even if you're somewhat experienced, what Liereyy is doing here is making it look so easy. So much walling. Yeah, will Yo go up the feudal fast, or will it be slow behind this? Really important.
And I like that he finally finished those palisades, or at least got them to higher HP most of the time. I really think it invites your opponent to just test you and allow yourself to make some mistakes if you just one-hit those palisades.
Yeah, I guess the downside is you spend a little bit more in the way of resources because you want to delete later, but who cares, right? Just be safe. Get to feudal. 9-minute feudal age for Liereyy, who is looking perfect right now. Stables up. More scouts will come out. Mr. Yo doing his best to wall up while he has the time.
Quite some sheep left as well. Look at that. Still 4 sheep under his TC. Maybe even 5. Did he steal 2? No, he didn't.
No, I don't think he stole. I think he pushed and then also sent. Yeah, he's on berries. I love Franks because when you go for these fast builds, sometimes food is hard to come by. And having the forge bonus really takes you over the edge. You never have any eco issues. Plus the farm bonus. So smooth.
Yeah, Franks really... I honestly think Franks might be a bad beginner civ because they play so smoothly that you might get misled on how to actually design your base and how to design your play.
Yeah, I can see that. I guess it depends. If you're someone who only wants to play a few games a day and you never want to improve, then maybe go Franks. Oh man, this is messy. Liereyy loses his scout underneath the town center and also has lost half the HP on his scout back at his base. So great micro from Yo.
Oh yeah, well, one sloppy move there, and that's not really what you want to happen for yourself. 3 on gold for Mr. Yo, by the way. So that looks like double archer range and archers to me.
Huh, all right. So there's the range for Liereyy. So he's aware of that. He's going to prep skirms. I'm wondering if Yo with 3 full HP militia goes into man-at-arms. Wouldn't be too crazy. It'd do more damage against the palisade walls. But, oh, never mind. I don't know about that. Still getting it, but ran into the TC himself. And then, oh, well, canceled it. That's funny.
What is Mr. Yo doing? Where are his archery ranges? He has so much floating resources now. Is housed here as well. Goes
Sadly.
for Town Watch now.
I guess it's not... It's a good way to salvage the situation when you get housed.
He has endless amount of resources, not getting either eco upgrade, now adding some farm.
Oh!
This is confusing to me.
Oh, but he's in, and Liereyy has to delete a lumber camp, and the villagers are blocked. One villager goes down, and Yo instantly after that clicks the man-at-arms upgrade. Oh my god. Lierey's in big trouble here.
Oh god, this should never ever happen, and she surely dies behind this one as well. The one at the top gets away. Oh, horrible scenario for him.
Oh, that's tilting. Now, what is really good for Liereyy, despite that being awful, is that Yo doesn't have any huge backup plan as far as military is concerned. It almost feels like he's going to add a stable, because he doesn't have a range. Like, what is his plan in the mid game? Liereyy has scouts. Liereyy will have archers. So many floating resources for Yo. I'm still no eco upgrades either, nearly. I'm really confused.
I think he wants to play like 3 archers, blacksmith defense, and then do the upgrades on the way to castle edge.
Oh boy.
Just feels so weird, but he's back at the woodline. Oh
Liereyy.
no. Oh no.
Oh, Liereyy rebuilding a lumber camp after just deleting one, and now we'll take more losses here.
And
That's awful.
The 1 HP scout actually does some nice blocking. Finally, Liereyy clears it up, but is 3 villagers behind.
Still like his military, though. 8 military versus 1. Mr. Yo, again, not having double bid X, not having horse color, maybe too focused on the micro. And at least he realizes, I'm going to be behind in numbers, and he will add the tower. It almost feels like he's intentionally skipping eco upgrades to have the faster castle upgrade. Weird.
Yeah, but if you do that with only like 4 farms and 400 food, I'm not sure if that really helps you so much. The transition will be tricky, and yeah, he sees, okay, I will need to do it by force, and we'll drop a market.
All right, so similar to the previous game where Yo goes for the infantry and then goes for some market play, but I think if Liereyy runs by here, Lierey's more than fine, and there's plenty of time for him to do damage, but he chooses not to run past. Maybe too risky there. He will take the spearman, though.
He won't believe that Mr. Yo is playing with 0 military at the moment.
I can't believe it. I don't understand why. It's so greedy. Maybe because of the great success in the previous game. He wants to get to castle ASAP. Lierey's in.
And now again, right? Liereyy, if he had a single villager forward, a tower next to the gold, would make it so tough for Mr. Yo.
Yeah.
Another tower behind the woodline. And then Mr. Yo constantly needs to buy some stone.
I agree with you, but with Frank's scouts, look, the spears go down, villagers are going to go down, and there's no eco upgrades for Yo. This is great for Liereyy. Can he hit the woodline, maybe? Can he group up these scouts with his archers, though?
Oh, he's trying to break through. Would love to see 1 archer behind the woodline already. And scouts on the inside just means Mr. Yo can't really rewall.
Yeah, he's got a wall behind them. And making another tower. This is very similar to the previous game for Yo. Very greedy.
Yeah, well, very greedy indeed, but way more aggression in his face this time. Last time he had a better job of walling. His map was a bit better.
Yep.
Still not up, although his resources are so close for so long.
Okay, so he wants the same thing then, right? He wants to go knights. I don't know about if the forward's reasonable, but at least like fast scale barding knights might be in his near future. There's a hold, by the way. He tried to send spears back into his base. It's next to the mill. He's got to deal with that one. Oh, God.
That could be ugly.
It could be really ugly. I think he's forgotten about that, Nilly.
Villagers are still low on the berries.
Oh, he sees it? He sees it?
It shouldn't be in time.
It won't be in time. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's so bad for Yo. Unless he can somehow... Oh! Okay, he sacrifices the spearman and actually gets, what, 3 kills there? Oh, my word.
Oh, Liereyy, he wanted to be the cheeky boy and said, like, I will take the better engagement with the archers, but that turned out exactly against him. Oh, boy.
Now Yo's on the way up. Now, do you think these units will break through the palisades, Nilly, in the meantime? It feels like they will. But now there's the stable. Oh, boy. Deja vu. Liereyy knows what might be coming here. Will he look for forward villagers if they even come? Oh, snipes the villager. Oh, the stable might never go up, actually.
What do we have? We have 43% there. I think he should keep some archers closer. The problem is if you sit next to the stable and try to kill the palisade, you're actually fighting uphill. But he lets the stable go up.
Yeah, I think he really wants to break in and do damage, so I can get the logic there. But if you take, as Yo micros back the weak builds... Oh my god, 98%. There he goes. Oh, lost one.
Okay.
But if you take the palisade down, and then you sit next to the stable, it's going to be tough for Yo economically to be able to afford everything he wants to do. Yo's now building the blacksmith, so compared to the previous game, Yo's taking way more damage.
Yeah, yeah. Well, his map was worse, right? And we said this should be the one screen wall. And if you zoom out a bit, his whole base fits in one screen now.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I think after everything that happened here, Lierey's in the better position. I don't know if you agree, but he's got better eco at home. Those farms will last a long time. He is walled and secure. He's got archers, and it's Liereyy after all, so you know he'll be able to use those if he keeps them alive. Also, he can build town centers if he wants to boom, because he didn't have to invest into the tower.
Yeah, I don't mind his spot either. Economies should be relatively even, but eco upgrades just so much better for Liereyy. He has wheelbarrow and has double bit X, something that Mr. Yo is still lacking.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting with Celts, because we talk so frequently about how they can still win with less eco if they get to that comp of Knight, Siege, Monk. We see Yo opening up with a monastery instead of the Siege Workshop. I actually like that, because if he goes for the alternative, he probably has Siege out when they're still, or when the Knights arrive. So he'll go for the Monks instead, but it's not like Lierey's not going to be active with these Scouts, Nilly, and he will see this.
Villager, can she wall herself? Looks like. Taking a hit and
okay.
still having 40 HP. That's a strong woman.
Sometimes on DE you actually hear the noise as well, and for whatever reason damage doesn't come in.
Triple
boy.
stable by Liereyy. After scouting the monastery. Is he mixing in scouts after that? No, it's one night in production for 3 stables.
Maybe a bit of PTSD? Maybe he's worried? Like he didn't make enough last game, so he wants to make more this game? But that Siege Workshop's been denied so far.
Oh yeah, that's good. It's so good for Liereyy. And crossbows around, he can push this back. Big difference. Now he can afford Botkin as well. There's so many small things going better for Liereyy compared to the game number 3 as well.
Yeah. He'll have the production. He's going to have the map control. He should have the better economy. Yo has to run back into his base. Yeah, Yo falling back here. This is where your win percentage goes from something like, I don't know, 25, 30% to 10 to 5%, because you want this slow snowball push to be forward and not defensive.
Yeah, now tries to make something happen.
Oh my god, come on.
Mangonel pop.
What?
Dodges.
And I believe the Mangonel goes down and this game ends.
I think so as well. So many villagers falling there. Knight is getting the last hit.
Oh my god. Yo's repairing it. Lierey's microing.
And the game will continue then.
What?
That's just sick.
What? Still massive
so many
losses.
Oh, nice drone attack.
We still have ourselves a game here. It might not go on much longer, but Yo keeps himself alive against all odds.
Holy moly. Like, I'm dead. I'm absolutely dead if this happens to me.
Yep.
I have no idea how Mr. Yo saved that Mangonel.
I mean, he used half of his farming eco to repair it, but it seemed well calculated. Holy cow. Well, 4 crossbows will get great value behind the wood line. Liereyy will still know, even purely based on score, but also what he's seen in the game. I'm going to be ahead with the second TC, which he adds. I love the TC because it's in front of the wood line, which we said would be an issue. And also he can mine stone if he's ever worried and make those cheap castles with Franks.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier how good those X-Men could be. Monks shouldn't really get any conversions in. Crossbows might even get some snipes here. Villager count surprisingly even.
Yeah, and it's also, like, the downside of that TC is that's an easy target for Yo's Siege. So if Celts are ever going to eat TC, it's going to be that TC. And Lierey's already on stone, so he's thinking about the future.
3 for now. Knights, obviously not the greatest upgrades there. Let's take a look. Scorpions, focus down first. 1 conversion.
2? 1? 2, I think, right? Started with 3?
Okay.
I don't know, something like that. But still, it's Liereyy pressuring, Liereyy with full HP Knights, Liereyy still with the crossbow. It just doesn't seem like Yo can truly push back here.
Oh no, and now the Monks are getting killed. Mangonel gets another ground attack in there, but not good enough. And, well, Knights without bloodlines aren't really great if you fight against ranks.
So Yo survived a bit longer, but now is this the end? The guy's got 700 wood, some of which he just sold for gold. Getting massacred on the front, despite the KD being very close. It's about to get a whole lot worse. And yeah, GG. Okay, so impressive from Yo to hold on there. But Liereyy, I think he learned a little bit after losing game 3, and he responds to that type of a push.
Look in front of Mr. Yo's mill. There will be soon 5 idle villagers, so he didn't press either villager for quite some time. His economy, obviously not that sharp. Micro-intense fight there with Mangonel, Monk, and all the knights. And that's one of the things that's completely understated. How good Liereyy is, not only at microing, but also macroing behind all the micro godness that he's doing.
Okay, so was that not the greediest play you've ever seen from Mr. Yo? Like, the guy kills so many villagers he probably shouldn't have killed in the first place, I'll give him that, but he kills villagers because Liereyy has a couple missteps with the quick walls. And then instead of saying, oh, I'm ahead, let's make sure I don't lose control, and let's get eco upgrades and make military, he just skipped all eco upgrades and went for that greedy FC.
Not my favorite play.
No, and maybe overconfidence there, or maybe just not confident enough to face against Liereyy when Liereyy has scouts and skirms or scouts and archers. But either way, no question, what a series. And I think we all thought it going into today. This was going to go the distance. It's been so close.
Yeah, it has truly been great. And, well, maybe Mr. Yo still thought about like how easily game 3 felt and just wanted to repeat in game 4.
Okay, so the series is really close, but again, I maintain the games have not been at all. Like, one person stomps, the other person stomps, the other person stomps. Like, have we had a game that's truly been back and forth?
Not really. It's a really short day, honestly. Like, this is like, if you think about 2 best of 7s, you feel like, oh god, could go up like 8 hours or something. Like, how long are we in? We're not even 4 hours in.
I know, and we've had the first quarterfinal complete, or sorry, semifinal complete, and now we're going into game 5 between Yo and Liereyy. So competitive score-wise, but it's been back and forth. So I think the choice of strategy from the winning player has been dominant and has not been matched by the losing player so far. Maybe now we speculate a little bit more on Civs Nearly. I hope they didn't start yet because I'm restarting on my end. But
okay, I can pretend to not know them.
Well, no, just tell me what they are. I want to know.
Okay, well then I can look. I was outside of the game. Okay, it will be Vikings against Mayans. So both going for the strongest civilization that they still have left.
Okay, yeah, and I'm in now. And we'll switch up the colors of Vikings, Mayans. Oh, man. What's the key difference between these civs, if there is a big one?
One has knights, one has eagles, one has a stronger economy. The other one can switch a bit more, right? The eagle, archers, just feels very natural, but most of the time, I think mass crossbows feels very likely. And then it is Vikings, better economy, Mayans, bigger mass.
Yeah. Both have great eco bonuses, too. I feel like what kills Vikings, because we actually saw this matchup a bit, if you want to compare it to Hidden Cup, we saw Mayans being picked a lot in game 1 on Arabia, and I think it was Doubt and Tato who were picking Vikings to counter it, and also to counter Aztecs, I believe. It's the Eagle switch that can be really tough for Vikings to deal with. Yes, they have the options. Yes, they have champions. Yes, they have berserks. But they don't really have the mobility if Mayans turn this into Eagles later on.
Remember, though, Hidden Cup Arabia, way more closed,
True.
right?
Yep.
It is
It's
way
completely
easier
different.
to wall. And, yeah, then going for longswords in a one-dimensional fight is, yeah, just an easy defense compared to
Exactly.
this Arabia because you can't really chase them down.
Whereas here, like, you're probably going to see a stable at some point from Vikings if Mayans make skirmishers. And I think back in the Hidden Cup days, I don't think that would have been the case. I think they would have just stayed on their own ranged units.
Yeah.
All right.
I think Hidden Cup was a lot of Drush FC on Arabia as well. No?
Yeah, it was a different time. I hope that 2 years from now we say to each other, do you remember what the game was like for the first year of DE? Do you remember how many walls there were? Do you remember how slow the game was? Like, I really hope that this is a trend that continues with more open maps and meta developing for more aggression.
And Bill Gates shouting at us, talk about Age of Empires 4! And we're
Yeah.
like, do you remember Woobly?
Yeah. Hey, people have been asking us to talk about Age of Empires 4 since it was announced 3 years ago, so that's happened a lot. Okay, so Yo ran forward nice and early, saw the magic carpet, knows that Lierey's TC is there, and is taking a peek around to see what Lierey's up to.
Do you think it would make sense to put the carpets further away so that you run into TCs less often?
I even think the carpet should be in front of or visible before the straggler trees. Because in most maps, you're going to see the straggler trees, and then you know to dodge. I think the carpets are a lot easier to pick out. So to answer your question, yeah, I would say so. But it's not that big a deal.
Rush again by Liereyy. Not really my favorite building placement there. Not really using the woodline at the front at all.
Yeah.
And, well, Drush into flush most likely by our Mayhem player. Mr. Yo did mill up, but now has enough wood. I think he will go for a Drush as well.
Well, he was forward really early, and he didn't scout the barracks. I think he scouted the gold, though. You might have noticed that the 10 gold was taken. But yeah, the militia are on the way, and Yo is going to have to do what Liereyy tried to do in the previous game, and just palisade in his villagers. And you know what? I think this might be men-at-arms for Mr. Yo.
Well, not unlikely, right? You use your feudal bonus more, giving your infantry extra HP. And also, like, players are good enough. They don't need to scout the barracks. Simply scouting that there's no mill gives you the confirmation of the Drush as well.
Yep, that as well. Yeah, did see the berries, of course. And Yo sees the first militia, runs away, and is going to push in this ostrich. And Lierey's got to be careful, just passing.
Squeezes through the ostrich and the scout there.
Can you imagine, like, that militia says to the others, guys, you'll never believe what happened today.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
It's
after
just-
the fight.
Yeah. Just power walks through there like...
It's all about burning those calories, man. Yeah, this will be feudal age for Yo, who's getting loom now. And overall, really well done from him. Even able to save so many goats. Well, oh, hold on. I spoke too soon.
Clicking up.
Okay, I spoke too soon. Say goodbye to those goats. But can make militia, pushed in the ostrich, and will go man-at-arms.
And he had a full villager idle time here.
Oh, really?
It's 10:30. 10:05 is the time he's aiming for.
Liereyy says, those are my goats. This is so annoying. Yeah, Liereyy... Oh, man. Like, there's nothing you can really do now if you're in Yo's position, because you don't want to engage with your militia until they're upgraded, or at least have the extra HP, which will start in feudal. You're right, Nilly. Look at Lierey's uptime. 1043. He'll have 2 more vills. Of course, started with 1 more as Mayans, but it's essentially a vill lead for Liereyy.
Well, it will lead that he's responsible for, and it will lead that his civilization is responsible
Yeah. Gold is really far forward, though, so we'll see if he gets those walls up. And he did not track the fact that Yo is heading to him. So if he doesn't see Yo at his base, he'll probably wall up.
I would love to see the woodline of Mr. Yo there. Quite a lot of villagers there. 6 on wood. Did he think about sending villagers forward?
Who, Mr. Yo?
Yeah, there was just 3 villagers. Like, they went to the barracks and then went back again.
Oh, and Liereyy with the quick walls. Yeah, maybe he thought twice about it. He sees the gold. That's not the first time you'll see a forward gold today.
House, Mr. Yo!
What? At 25? Oh, that's so
Yeah.
bad. So he's going to be behind by... Well, he's going to be behind by 3 vills, essentially. But 2 were because of mistakes.
Yeah, pretty ugly. And Liereyy, so far really smooth, is walling his berries here, and yeah, does a good job. Allows a bit of an overberry, but not going to happen for now. 2 woodlines. The one at the top looks really ugly, though. Look at how he walked there.
Oh, geez. Yeah. The elevation makes it difficult. Remember, he is Vikings, so having wheelbarrow is a huge upgrade here. So, yes, Mr. Yo's made mistakes that he shouldn't have made, but Viking eco can sometimes bail you out, and usually does. But, again, I'm just impressed with Lierey's walling. I said it last time, though, and somehow he lost 3 vills and had to delete lumber camp. So, hopefully he doesn't do that this time.
Mr. Yo didn't want to go forward. He's just going for the zebra at home there. Man-at-Arms trying to find anything, but Liereyy should be bulletproof if it wasn't. Oh, yeah, now he is.
Yep. So good. Okay, I hate doing this as a player. Like, placing all these little palisades. It's just so much clicking. Just, like, make it stop.
That's actually, like, the Doubt's thought process as well, right? Before he bothers to wall everything, he just takes 5 vills and fights against the militia and is happy if he only loses 1. Sadly, then in 2004, people realized that they can actually go back and forth with militia. And since then, he hates
people
it.
didn't just... Yeah, people realize that they can take more than 1 fight now. Okay. Well, Nilly with the Doubt Insights. And Liereyy did not get the upgrade from Man-at-Arms. And I think what this does now is Liereyy gets fletching. It does make it a little bit dicey for him because, yes, the quick walls will keep the Man-at-Arms out. But if there's 2 archers behind, Leary's got to make some decisions on if he runs or stays. I think he'll be okay, though, with the amount of range units he has, Nilly. He's got fletching already. Yo does not.
Yeah, Yo kind of in tech here. Even that's a spot where you want to keep your men-at-arms alive. Most of the time, trading them off and trying to kill an archer is good. But with the chance of your opponent going for eagles and actually see eagles being added, those are adding some nice damage.
It reminds me of the conversation we had in Game 1. Now, that game was quite short, and we never saw the potential for a heavy eagle switch for Yo when he was Incas. But yeah, like, keeping the man-at-arms alive against Mezzo is so important.
Sick. We will see a full best of 7 series with Mr. Yo without him ever building an eagle.
That's true, because he doesn't have Aztecs. Yep. All right. Quick walls from Yo. That was so important. Oh, but there's a hole. Oh, God. Wait.
Well, other side is something is happening as well. So both are in. Both will do damage.
And Yo tried to wall, and Liereyy blocked it. And now Leary's going to lose it. Oh, this is so awkward. You can tell Yo is focused at home. He hasn't moved his army to the woodline yet. Oh, this is crazy. Little base trade here.
But Liereyy isn't really moving with his villager either. Now some skirmishes for the defense. 3 HP on that one. Should die. Who loses more?
I think Yo loses more. Yo doesn't... He's fighting uphill with villagers. He'll lose 1. Leary's already lost 1. And now the man-at-arms go down. Which means Liereyy can clean this up.
Oh, this is so ugly. And Yo is taking the fight. Wheelbarrow helping a bit. Walking a bit faster, but...
What?
Well,
you know what? In the end, it was pretty close, but Yo did have to invest more into that because he added man-at-arms at home. So
yeah,
crazy.
And he also had to pull villagers, right? Still, not all of them working. Idle at the gold.
Yep.
Ugly economy.
Again, avoidable mistake in this game for Mr. Yo. Like, holes happen, but you've also got to... Walling is a skill. And that's got to be something you check. This is a semi-final, which many people are deeming as a final because it's so high level. So, would you say whoever wins this, regardless of who it is favored in the final, Nilly?
Yeah. I see whoever goes through 60-40 favorite against MBL.
Okay. Yeah, I feel the same. So I feel like Liereyy is slightly more of a favorite against MBL than Yo would be. We'll see what happens.
Okay. Yeah. Well, obviously, the good thing is simply the mindset, right? Liereyy had the better of MBL for years now.
Yep.
And really punished MBL. And the last time Yo and MBL faced, it was basically an even series that MBL won in the end.
Yeah, it was a 3-2. Exactly. Yeah, I think like that's been one of the more interesting matchups over the years for me, is watching those two face off. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, even though I'm the one who started it.
Well, the final will be MBL against one of these two, and we are the maximum of 2.5 games away to find out who will face them tomorrow. Best of 11 finals for an additional 8,000 marbles.
Yeah, crazy. 4,000, I think, if you lose in the semis, and then you get... I don't
9
know.
and 17.
Yeah, okay. Good hold from Yo. It really felt like Liereyy was going to push up that hill there. In the end, the 2 additional man-at-arms were not a waste of resources for him when he panic made them earlier. Maybe it was calculated, who knows? But Mr. Yo is walled. However, there is a problem I have with the walls. It still means his wood lines and some of his gold is all rangeable. It doesn't protect from that.
Ooh. Something is happening.
I
Mr.
see
Yo
it.
is adding a barracks, and he's going for a special upgrade.
Supplies! Nilly, I feel like recently that's been... like, in the past, do you remember the Gold Rush game we cast in 2015? You're like,
Yeah.
cast the final fight, T90. Nowadays, 2020, what does Nilly do? The upgrade! Supplies! But is this not blind? Like, is he expecting there to be eagles? Wow.
Well, he doesn't see crazy archer numbers, right?
Yeah,
if
true.
Mayan's game plan is to go for crossbow, you see more archers mixed in. But the army that he sees at the front, 1 archer, 6 skirms.
Hey, also, so personally, I don't like this. Supplies is an upgrade that I think you have to create 10 infantry units for it to make sense. So it can be reasonable, but
That's only food-wise, right? And
Yeah.
then you still have to pay gold.
yeah, and the gold as well. But what I don't like is Liereyy still has ranged units. So Liereyy will see this, and Liereyy will say, oh, wait, he's making man-at-arms. Well, that's cool. I'll just make another range and continue to make archers. So it does put Yo on the back foot, if you ask me. And you already see this right now. Liereyy very well aware of what's happening. He takes out 2 man-at-arms right now, and I think he'll like his spot.
And Liereyy is adding some more archers, some more eagles as well, and
And a range.
yeah, it's just so much easier to dictate fights then.
Yep. Maybe this comes back to the lack of momentum from Yo. Ever since that one hole, he hasn't done much except play defensive. Now, that's a good engagement because Longsword comes in, and Longswords will clear up those eagles, and maybe now Yo will realize, all right, I'm exposed to some type of a crossbow switch, and he'll go for his own units or maybe a siege workshop.
Oh, Siege Workshop in the center now finished. And
What?
it's quite surprising that Liereyy only scouts it now, or did have some small vision earlier, but honestly, that will be tricky. Eagles
Yeah.
will be so good at sniping the siege.
I was expecting the siege workshop at home. I wouldn't have liked that either, but okay. Another game, another forward siege workshop from Mr. Yo. So long swords and mangonels. This is new.
Well, makes sense against Mayans, right? And
Yeah,
also
yeah.
makes sense against that very open gold there. It's a good spot to attack.
Yeah, and I think if you're Liereyy, you use a similar approach to what you went for in the previous games. Just make a lot of military against it. Don't sit back. Don't try and boom. Wow, suddenly I'm starting to believe in this push a bit, Nilly.
Oh yeah, so am I. Eagles, well, we have Eagle Warrior upgrades, but crossbow numbers really low. First shot into the villagers, 1 dead.
Attack round could work there. Liereyy running around, and... oh man, this is all going to depend on micro. Would you still say it's a better position for Liereyy despite that massive hill?
Well, Mr. Yo is taking the best fighting position, but I still think like Eagles crossbow are just so good.
Yeah. See it right there. Liereyy says, thank you very much. You're making another barracks. So he really
Siege
believes in
workshop
all
there.
ins.
Liereyy has the villager on the siege workshop, misclick there.
Oh, jeez. So the siege is not on the way. He might think it is. Liereyy. There it is. And that could be frustrating, and that could even be denied.
Scorpion now added. That means not another mangonel. Crossbow doing some stuff. Oh god, this is so much clicking here.
I know. It's amazing. Oh, and Liereyy gets rocked. He wants crossbows and eagles.
Uh-oh, tricky move. Longsword's now out there. Villager moves away. 80% on that siege workshop. Eagles around. Villager dies.
And the eagles dive in for the mangonel, which they will get. And still quite a few eagles remaining. And the scorpion also goes down. So now Liereyy backs away. The crossbows are suddenly good again. My word, Nilly. This is unbelievable. And Yo is actually adding TCs behind. I see.
Is he?
Yeah,
Wow,
one.
Okay. Okay, 1 TC. That's quite interesting. It felt like he would just go massive all in here. Let's take a look. Finds another villager kill. Those Mangonels got like 4 or 5 villager kills already. Nice ground attack.
Huge ground attack. And Liereyy is going to be behind an eco at this rate. 2 more villagers go down. All the eagles are sacrificed for this kill. If Yo has another Mangonel here, he's still in a good position. A good snipe from Liereyy.
Eagle even taking the hill advantage to get the Scorpion kill there. But now, Mangonel v Mangonel, Liereyy is looking pretty good here. It's just so much better with the crossbows to keep on pressuring against Mangonel.
What I feel like the awkward thing at the moment for Liereyy is he's already died to an all-in. So he, like, or I shouldn't say he died to an all-in. He died to, at the time, what he thought was an all-in. Yo is making a switch to go for an eco approach. And I don't know if Lierey's ever going to do that himself or if the timing is going to be similar. It's hard to judge when to add TCs, because if you add TCs too early in the defender's position, you get punished for it. Such a good game here.
Jacob's running around trying to find a hole, but no overchop base. Bulletproof.
Nope. And speaking of raids and infantry, as the Mangonels go 1 for 1, Yo has split up the longswords. Liereyy has to quick wall, but loses a villager in the process. Yo's longswords are split up, but he has another Mangonel coming out of the workshop.
Hold your breath.
Oh, 1 for 1.
Nope.
Or
0
not.
for 0.
0 for 0. It's the same. You do the math, it's exact same.
It's all even. Yeah.
That's a lot of crossbows. And I feel like Liereyy, like, who cares if Yo has 10, 20 more villagers? Liereyy with this many crossbows could do anything.
Yeah. Unless you get like 3 Mangonels out and Liereyy can't micro that anymore. Oh, Mangonel really exposed though, yeah.
Oh, Liereyy with the micro. Both players going to lose Mangonels, I believe. University also denied. Forward villagers for these buildings. Siege Workshop made sense, but I'm not so sure about the University. And now Liereyy might be pushed off of gold.
Where's the 3rd gold? At the top there. Crossbows, some of them being sent back, and some of them under microed.
Oh, man, yeah. And I guess it's good for Liereyy that he's killing some longswords, but the longswords got better value in the north than you would expect. And another big shot for Yo!
Oh, that's so ugly. And 0 gold income at the moment for Liereyy. Is losing all his crossbows at the top as well. Couldn't micro at both sides.
And he's going to add a castle here. Yo's already going to 3 TCs, and this could be a doubt castle for the 2nd time in the semifinals today.
Mangonel at 28 HP gets it down. That was so important.
Yeah, very important. But is he in this game if that castle goes up, Nilly? It's 63 villagers against 47. We're casting this. We barely even looked at Yo's eco. How is he able to manage it and all the micro on the front?
Oh, God. TC number 3 dropped now. And still all the map control in the world. Long swords going. I think Yo... Probably this is the moment where you stop going long swords. You did a lot of aggression, maybe switching into like 10, 15 skirmishes and thinking about Imp is the way to play now.
Yeah, but it's also Yo.
He had a 2nd siege workshop and just attacks it from another angle.
It's like so many players would just go to range production from home here, Nilly. But Yo's like, nah, why do that? He researched arson, by the way, so he could melt this blacksmith. He might break through.
Oh, TC behind that one. Plume the Archer production only started. Now we have 3 on the field. 2 military on the field against 23. 51 villager against how many? Okay, we just jumped to 70. Sorry. I tried to set it up.
Nice. Very close to nice. Man, longswords in the semifinals. What is this? This is ridiculous. Liereyy does have a TC to flee to in the back. He does have some plumes out, and he is one of the biggest micro nerds in the game. But how much micro is he going to have to do with so many longswords out? This is insane.
Did he get the University by now?
Does not have ballistics, so I'm not even checking for the building. I'm only looking at the fights. Look at the repairs from Yo.
Such a good job there. And yeah, those villagers have some long arms for sure. Getting the repairs in. More longswords dying. A bit of an over-aggression. Plumes, obviously, a great unit to defend here, but population doesn't look fair.
Yeah, it doesn't look fair at all. They're playing in different worlds right now. Feels like one's in the Dark Age and one's in the Castle Age with the eco difference. 78, 57, maybe a bit of an exaggeration on my part, but
That's okay.
Yo could toss away these longswords right now and still be in a fine position in this game as long as he's thinking towards him.
Yeah, and you see, like, no longsword production, goes for full villagers, and now goes for stone mining. He wants to get an aggressive castle up and probably trap the castle later on.
Again, that's a very Yo thing to do. I think many people would just play defensive at home with that castle, go up to Imp. But Yo's like, nope. I've got to make sure I go in for the kill. Like, how many Mangonel volleys has Liereyy dodged here as we're talking about this? Quite a few.
Quite some, yeah.
Does he not have a siege? He still hasn't added a new siege workshop after losing the other one.
Well, yeah, Mangonel could be nice for him, while the Mangonel's a bit overextending. Ooh, Liereyy the splits again.
This is why. It's like, whatever. The siege workshop didn't work for me before. Why would it work for me now? And, oh, big shot.
Luckily, it was relatively split there. Eagles trying to find another kill. And Liereyy is holding this, is not dying to this attack, guys. But don't get too high hopes for Liereyy. The economy for Mr. Yo is simply out of control.
32 on food for 16. And that's now. It could get better, and Yo's about to imp. It had consistent Mangonel production and presence on this hill. There hasn't been a moment where I've even felt like he was going to lose control here, despite Lierey's amazing micro.
Yeah, and that's like KOTD Arabia. Like, so often have we seen that players are building their bases and walling slightly behind the hills,
Yeah.
or your opponent getting control of the hills, and then it's so tough and you're extremely pressured in the back. Now we see the forward villagers from Mr. Yo.
Yeah, wow. If you didn't watch Viper vs. Yo quarterfinal, and you showed up today, and you heard about that result, before seeing these games, you might be thinking, wow, like maybe Viper had an off day, and it wasn't
Washed up.
necessarily Yo in shape. But after this, you're just like, you know what? It makes sense. They're both playing so sharp, both Liereyy and Yo, as that forward castle will go up. Liereyy finally gets a counter in. Been so impressed by Yo's performance in this game.
Actually, I even felt like Viper didn't play that bad against Mr. Yo.
I agree.
I did say something ballsy. I said that with his performance, he actually could have won KOTD 2. My chat completely went bananas and said, like, how could I ever say something?
Yeah,
stupid?
of course.
But what I wanted to say is, I think Viper actually didn't have the worst day ever.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it was near best form from Viper, and we have Yo house walling now to keep the plumes out. This is desperation time for Liereyy, and look at this! Look at these walls from Mr.
Give me another
Yo!
one. Oh god, that's so good. So good.
Look at all the
behind.
plumes dying. Oh my god. That's disgusting from Yo. Almost on cue as well, as we're complimenting him. He traps that army, and now it does have some skirmishers coming out. Doesn't have too many yet. My god.
I will do that job. Liereyy now up to Imperial Age as well, but will be solid over 2-minute timing. Mangonel. Oh, Tristan, important that you don't select those plumes.
Oh yeah, I don't want my game to go. Oh, but the house goes down.
Okay, now you are allowed to select them again.
I don't want to. Okay, Liereyy sees it. He's got to choose either TC Fire or Mangonel, and TC Fire is the way to go. You know what, Nilly? Lierey's got 2 castles at home, so he could maybe hold on and then take out the forward castle from Yo with Trebs. He's killing villagers here. He has time, and Yo has really struggled to switch out of the longswords.
But it should still be... Like, he should lose...
Go ahead, say what you're gonna say.
I heavily disagree, Tristan. I think the moment Yo reaches Imp, Liereyy will resign.
God damn it. I hate it when, like, you never want to say, this is GG. you gotta look for positive signs, and then that happens. Liereyy sees Yo as an imp, and he just calls it. Thanks for that one, bud. But what a performance from Yo. That was so good. Easily the best game of the day, in my opinion, in terms of skill level.
Ah. By Mr. Yo, you mean? Or
By
by
Mr.
both of
Yo.
them?
Yeah. By Mr. Yo. Liereyy, game 1, I mean, pretty clear example of how good he can be.
It was tricky, right? It was double barracks at home. Like, if Liereyy scouts the siege workshop in the center, Mr. Yo is sitting with longswords at home and no plan to follow it up.
I didn't think that was going to go anywhere. I thought Liereyy was going to have Eagle Crossbow. I thought he would have full map control. But that's the second game where the middle siege workshop has been the death of Liereyy. He really seems to struggle against those pushes. And Yo obviously excels in that as well. Give him plenty of credit. All right. Yo is 1 win away from going to the King of the Desert 3 finals. Liereyy could easily respond, and you almost expect it because of how back and forth this series has been. We are down to the nitty-gritty as far as civs go on the draft. I have to reopen my game. Nili, what are your expectations or guesses for the civilizations?
Just want to say something for, like, I'm not sure if you caught that, but Mr. Yo actually does not have Indians. He has Cumans there in the draft.
Oh, is it bugged out as Indians there? It's actually working for me now.
It did run out. Oh, what do you mean?
The draft it shows Cumans, so maybe refresh it. They might have fixed it.
Ah, okay. Okay, interesting.
So as far as I'm aware, as we go to game 6, just toggling off some civs before I show the viewers. Yeah, I think this is accurate. I think we have Slavs, Cumans, Saracens for Yo, and then Burmese, Ethiopians, Khmer for Liereyy, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what I see as well. So Khmer, and then the 2 weakest civilizations for Liereyy left. Yeah. I honestly don't see him playing Burmese.
No.
The question is, like, Khmer, Ethiopians, which one first? You say Khmer first, right?
Oops, sorry guys. This is the story of my life. I'm sorry, say that again?
I think he will not pick Burmese. I think he is going for Ethiopians and Khmer. The question is, like, what is he picking first? And you probably prefer Khmer first, right?
Yeah, I think he goes Khmer, and Yo expecting that goes Slavs. But, well, it's not like picking Ethiopians against Slavs is all that good either. So, yeah, I think it's going to be Khmer versus Slavs, if I had to guess.
Yeah. It is interesting, right? Mr. Yo is a guy that thinks about the game a lot and can come up with crazy strategies. Is he going for Saracens? Does he have a plan? Like Liereyy? Does he still have the game 5 against Stout in the back of his mind if he faces Saracens?
Yeah, the Liereyy lost to Doubt. Now, what's so interesting, we have to look back at this and consistently think about both these players in their groups. Liereyy was expected to win in his group, and then Doubt won the group because of that comeback against him. And because of that, Liereyy ended up here against Mr. Yo. On this side of the bracket anyways. But you could also say that because MBL beat Yo in this group, Yo ended up here as well. So
they actually should have faced each other.
Yeah.
But at the other side of the bracket.
That's true. Yeah, they both should have won and faced each other on the other side of the bracket. That's one way you could look at it, yeah.
It should have been Hera Viper here and Mr. Yo Liereyy at the other side.
Yeah, that's probably what the logic was.
Yeah, like, should have been.
Oh, boy. Hera's probably like, dude, Liereyy, why do you have to lose to Doubt like that? We have to knock each other out in the quarterfinals. Come on. It's your fault, not mine.
I actually, if I'm Hera, I'm actually mad at Liereyy.
You're mad at Liereyy?
Yeah. Like, why did you lose to Doubt and then eliminate me?
Well, Doubt's better than Hera confirmed, right? That's
why he beat Viles?
It's all over the place, isn't it?
It is wild, yeah.
So wait, so Liereyy in the group stage anyways, Liereyy lost to Doubt, and then Liereyy beat Hera, but then Velez beat Doubt, so Velez better than Liereyy, Hera, and Doubt confirmed?
But weaker than MBL.
But weaker than MBL, which means MBL is better than them all. Okay, I'm liking this timeline.
Yeah, so
and then
we'll see. Sure if we need to play tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true. Why do we even need a grand final?
No.
I think they've launched the next game. We'll have our answers on the civs. Slavs versus Burmese. We will see Burmese in King of the Desert. Let's go.
Yeah. Did we not have them?
Well, we did before. Sorry, but I should have clarified and said the semifinal because I wasn't expecting Liereyy to go this route, but it's also a civ that I feel like has a lot of potential for this map.
I think, yeah, if you get to Arambai Mangonel, then it is a beautiful civilization, right? You can go for the one-dimensional pushes and basically always win the game. The question is, how easy will it be for you to get there? So therefore, we have to take a close look at the stone positions of Liereyy.
Okay, stone position here could easily be walled in. The other stone is a dream, but even having one decent stone is good on King of the Desert 3 Arabia. Speaking of dreams, we have the opposite, a nightmare at Yo's base, all 3 golds in one spot. This could be up against the very potent attack of the Burmese man-at-arms. Nili, I actually, one of my favorite things, and this is going to sound weird at the start, one of my favorite things when casting with you or Dave is when I disagree. I think that Burmese are top tier with Man-at-Arms, the free wood upgrade, and then you can turn that into, like, you're always going to be able to afford Horse Collar for your farms. And if you get a little bit of damage in, you have strong eco, and you can go into Knights. If you end up going into Pikeman switch with the Knights, you're ahead. If you end up needing Monks, you're going to be good there too. I don't think you need Erenbai to be good here with Burmese.
And you have great crossbows.
Okay, and that's the reason
And
right there.
great skirmishes.
That's the reason. So Nilly switches that right over to the weakness of Burmese. And the weakness of Burmese is the fact that it's a bit one-sided, and it's more suited towards the melee units. But then again, Slavs, they don't typically go for archers. So it might have been well thought out from Liereyy.
Yeah, but if Slavs just goes pikeman, then you basically have pikeman v pikeman. Yeah, you have one more attack, or two more attack.
Yeah.
But the economy of Slav will just overrun you.
Yeah, that's true. I think I would say to compare the civs, the power spikes in early ages are better for Burmese because of the extra attack and the free eco upgrades, like the lumber camp upgrade specifically. And then the mid game, which overall is more time, is probably better for the Slavs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, surely. Like Slav, considered to be one of the best economy bonuses in the game. And they also struggle with their ranged units. But, well, the eco is just so good that you still feel like they should be in a best of 7 for sure.
Yeah. Yo. Please don't. Oh my god, he shot it! I knew it! I knew it was gonna happen. It was gonna happen one of these days. All day today, he's been doing fine. He hasn't been shooting the Rhino, making mistakes with his TC. But if it happens once, and you're up 3-2 in a semifinal with thousands of dollars in prestige on the line, you could throw a game. It tilts me, Nilly. It tilts me.
Shame over his family.
Nilly just takes it a completely different level.
Now look at that. He needs to go for the zebra and the ostrich in the back. Scout completely out of position as well. And honestly, like that was such an untypical lure by him as well.
Yeah.
What did he do? I think he had 7 villagers in the TC, therefore couldn't shoot a second time. And then, yeah, the second and third volley outside of the TC. So he simply miscounted or miscollected the villager. Yeah.
So I'm gonna explain it because there's always one or two people out there who don't understand why that happens. A lot of players do it nowadays. But what you can do is if you shoot the town, if you shoot your Rhino or Boar with the town center with the final hit, it will die and you cannot take resources from it. If the final hit is with a villager, you can take resources from it. So he was trying to do 6 in the TC, 2 volleys from the TC, and then get the final hits on the vills. Yeah, Nilly, I think you're right because he only did 1 volley because he had 1 extra villager in there and 2 would have been the same result. But my goodness. Tato did it. Who else made the mistake? Weren't we casting together and someone else did it? Vivi.
Vivi Tato?
Yep.
Yeah. Ay. Now has to go the very long way. And now the ugly thing was like, yeah, you can mill the deer, but he already pushed 1 deer, and you don't really want to mill 2 of them.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, that villager has a death wish, and Liereyy, bit sloppy from him. He normally would wall there.
Loom.
All right.
Death wish, but not granted.
Off of gold, which means he can't get the Man-at-Arms upgrade, though. So Liereyy, looking to take advantage of the power spike of getting to feudal age, cannot afford Man-at-Arms because he's off of gold now. That's huge.
Let's take a look. Well, Militia, they're still way stronger.
Yeah.
Once they reach feudal age,
And the
right?
scout, too.
And that could be annoying. There's 1 villager trapped. Oh, no. He could have gone for that one. That was so good for Mr. Yo.
Oh, wow. Yo with the quick reactions. And Liereyy is probably still going to get the upgrade we spoke of. He's back on his gold now. He'll get the walls up. Yo looked to do more damage elsewhere, but the walls were already there. Overall, if Yo is walled in his wood lines, he's all right. But I hate how he's on 1 lumber camp and he's got 6 on stragglers. I hate how he's got 3 on gold, but there's no mining camp there yet. This is just not what Yo would have wanted, and it all stems from the Dark Age.
I think, like, 6 villagers on the deer there. Isn't it a spot where you just take those 6 and build a lumber camp to drop off the fruit?
Yep, I was going to say the same thing. I was really surprised he didn't do that. And he was also right next to a wood line, but maybe he did make a lot of farms, Nilly, so maybe he didn't have the wood. Or maybe overmade farms.
Kind of tried to look for that, but okay, let's take a look. Men-at-Arms now, and they are annoying against buildings for sure. I'm not even sure if against 3 Men-at-Arms and a Scout. Oh!
Full. And Liereyy was waiting for it. Liereyy was waiting for that villager to get too hungry and eat the bush. She dead. Well played, Liereyy.
Dead indeed. One villager idle there, now works, gets the defensive archery range out, and at the other side loses a skirm.
Alright, so skirm goes down. Bit all over the place. Very messy, with both players having military at the opposition's side. I like Lierey's position more with villagers. Also the fact that he does have the upgrade. And Liereyy, oh, being patient here. Getting the scout in front of the Vil, because for whatever reason the Vil was over there and gets another Vil snipe.
And you know what I hate most about it? That after the game, Burmese will win and you will tell me, I told you so.
Oh, no, I'm going to tell you now. I'm going to tell you this is a good matchup for Burmese now. I'm not going to say it after the game. I'm just going to get ahead of it. I mean, there was a small mishap in the Dark Age for Mr. Yo. Just a small mishap.
What is Liereyy doing at his gold?
What?
He just opened that to let the scout and militia in?
What? Is this
Now
fatigue
fight.
hitting the players, maybe?
They're bugging out here. Oh, 7? I don't think so.
You don't think it's fatigue?
Yeah, it's just too short of a series, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There were so many like super short games included as well.
I get tired after I play 4 1v1s in a row.
Yep.
So, so much pressure coming from Liereyy. And a good tower from Yo. Messy all around, but better position for Liereyy. And Liereyy takes a loss, but is okay at home now. There is a weak villager on the gold, but he's positioned him to the far side, so Yo can't get the snipe. Right, Billy. Is there a switch here for Liereyy, or does he just stay on ranged units until castle? And oh, we've got a pause.
Tactical pause to exactly find that out. Well, Liereyy, he continues with skirms, is happy to force the tower.
Gotcha.
He isn't really walling his map, and if he wants to wall his map, it has to be a big wall to include the stone.
Yeah. Okay, so there's one stage of the game I want to talk about if we get there. Apparently, Mem's stream crashed, so we got to wait till he's back. Fair enough, fair enough. We'll wait till he's back. It's mid Castle Age and early Castle Age. So again, I think Burmese, if they get a lead in early feudal, which has happened here, that can snowball to an early lead in castle, free lumber camp upgrades, lots of infantry, lots of knights are options. But then if Burmese don't do enough damage there, Nilly, and maybe I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, that Slavs mid Castle Age with the farms can be deadly.
Yeah, the thing is though, you need to go for a lot of siege, right? And siege with siege, I think Burmese can defend there, although obviously Slavs can be a bit better.
Yeah.
I think one of the worst things for Slavs is that they don't have the greatest counter against the Rambibe, which most of the time is crossbow or skirmishes that can now transition into bracer units later on.
I would say maybe it's a case of not Liereyy. You know, if it was another player, I think they might be opting for walls now. Like if this was MBL, you'd have at least a wall villager in the south, walling to the edge. Wall villager in the north, walling to the edge. He might consider taking stone, might consider going for a castle in the future. But I think when Liereyy gets ahead, he's like, I'm just going to streamline this towards castle and go with non-unique units. In fact, it's very rare to see him go for unique units.
Yeah, he loves those crossbows, loves those knights. And that's why I'm so surprised by this pick by him as well. It is probably only for the man-at-arm aggression in the transition.
Yeah.
Like, it is not the worst thing, right? He is a guy that I've seen go for chemistry, bracer, ballistic, all before he goes for the defense upgrade for his crossbows. So technically, he can go for a lot of crossbows, and then Burmese aren't bad.
Yeah. So let's talk about Yo's current position. Down 2 villagers, and according to the overlay, 7 on food. Double check with 8 farms. Okay, so 8 farmers off of berries. So yes, he's Slav farms, but he's completely off of berries. You look at Lierey's economy. Lierey's got 8 farms. He's almost finished with his berries, and he has villagers on ostrich. So overall, he's got almost double the amount on food, and he has the aggression. So Lierey's position, I know the score lead's not huge, but it's looking really good.
Yeah, and also one lumber camp, right? He has 14 villagers and one lumber camp pretty soon.
Exactly.
200 wood only there. And, well, he, I think, needs to find a way to somehow get back to his berries, but that's easier said than done. Also, like, it's still so little control at the top. And, oh, something I at least didn't see. Looking at the top of Mr. Yo's base, he didn't find 2 of his sheep. So it's -1 elephant and -2 sheep.
Yeah, at this point, you're not even factoring that in, right? You're just, you're just going to hope for the best. How do you think a little bit of a stoppage here affects the players when things were so messy? Do you think it's good for them? Or maybe it affects the rhythm a bit?
Since there's no, like, immediate fight happening, I think it is okay, right? It can be tough for you, especially, like, if you see, okay, so much went wrong for me and I have an uphill battle in front of me, then it is ugly. The thing is, Liereyy actually doesn't know how far ahead he is, right? He didn't know that Mr. Yo had lots of idle time in Dark Age. He doesn't know that it's -2 sheep, -1 boar. So he thinks, okay, this is still an even game because out of his point of view, not a lot of stuff happened.
Yeah, it's I think it was Memb interviewing Tato after Tato beat Vivi in a best of 5. Tato had shot his Rhino with his TC, and in like game 2 or 3 or something, and then in game 5, Vivi did the same, and Tato just couldn't help but laugh because he had no clue. So yeah, you never really have that insight. So guys, basically, just to explain, Memb's the host of this tournament. He's put in a lot of work for it. I was casting this as well, and I guess I assume like maybe internet power, something along those lines. So for now, the stoppages for that, because these games are live. And I can't really give you any more info beyond that right now, as Neely and I. We are really tearing this game apart right here. You are going to get more analysis at 14 minutes than you would ever get because of
this. For me, Memstream is still offline.
Okay.
So, yeah, it might take some time, right? Then I think you will try to set some stuff up. So if you ever want to squeeze in a pee break, I think it might be a good time here.
For me or for the viewers?
For the viewers.
Okay, I was gonna say that's risky. I don't know about that one.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have that luxury, man. Yeah, I'm really curious as well. Like Lierey's the type to control the game with his military. He doesn't wall as early because of that. And if he takes a misstep, if he takes a bad fight, if he loses control in any way, Yo would have time to pressure him in multiple areas. You've got, like, the gold is on the back, but there's still a lot that's open. You could have the berries hit if that's still there. You could have the woodline hit. I could see Yo doing dances around him.
Yeah, but he's so far behind the military, and it's one archer range with one archer range, so he can't really get ahead there. It just will be a dance mainly around the berries, and I rather see Liereyy getting the aggression against the woodline than Mr. Yo really getting any counterattacks in.
Yeah. We can really nitpick. We can talk about Yo's woodline and how we would have liked the second lumber camp. That's done and dusted at this point. He might get the second one up, but yeah, you want to know what?
Can we check the statistics? What's the win rate of Burmese in this tournament so far?
Well,
Burmese were picked in 9% of the series.
Okay.
But were never played before.
So they were never played at all, and this is across the whole tournament?
It's 74 series. They were included 9%, so I assume exactly 7 times they were included in drafts, but they actually never were played.
Okay. Someone just asked me, can you guys talk about which phase of the game Burmese are stronger?
The phase with the Rambai.
Well, I mean, I just didn't do a good job talking about that, but I feel like we've covered that more in this game than we ever have. So maybe rewind a little bit. Thanks for your patience, everyone. I can tell people are excited to watch the game, and so are we, trust me. Geez, tech issues happen, and it's so frustrating as a streamer. Thank you and I have both experienced that ourselves, Nilly, so.
Yeah, like technical issues. I remember my times when I had a wrong codec in my OBS, and every time a lot of units died, my stream dropped. and I was casting King of the Hippo, basically a tournament where lots of armies are smashing against each other, and every time it got super close, my stream dropped, and I didn't figure it out for several months.
Yeah.
And actually, Memp helped me out there, and that is so depressing.
I used to have Comcast internet, so that's all I have to say.
Okay.
if you know Comcast, it was very common for Panic Basket to be used in my stream chat for the first year and a half, maybe 2 years that I streamed. It was just a common thing to see drops, and it was actually a similar thing. The more units on the map, so basically the more exciting the game, things would drop. So, we'll see how everything goes here.
Technical issues. Yeah, it is something that's absolutely avoidable. Especially tricky for Memp because he never has issues, right? If I think about him, he's probably the most stable one out of all of the biggest streamers.
But he's got fiber. It took a long time for me to be able to find it. It's tough to find. I think maybe it's power thing. I don't know. I don't know if you're paying attention to the Discord, but Krasini might need to make a decision here.
I think he will be so connected that I would actually assume we will wait the full time till Memp is back in the game and loaded everything up.
Okay, well,
I would be very surprised if he allows the game to continue.
No. I agree. Well, all we've heard from Krasini is small pause due to technical issues. I'll let you know when we continue. If the issue persists, I'll let you know when I know more. So yeah, they're probably playing it by the second at this point.
Memp went a bit wild on his OBS apparently, and it was bugging out. But that would be surprising to me, because then he could just restart it with less plugins, right?
OBS crashed?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what someone is saying, but I don't think that's the case.
Yeah. I also had someone say that Viper hacked his computer, so...
That's more likely.
So...
Revenge.
Yeah, so...
you were searching for a new king? Who is the new king now?
I don't know...
You won't show it.
Where you get it, if we could trust people. Sorry, guys.
He didn't want anyone to be the new king.
Yeah, it's like no one will get to see it. Sorry. No, you know what? This could be, because the first quarterfinal was so fast. Whatever.
To just get to prime time.
Yeah, exactly. This isn't even prime time viewership. So everyone who's here, we appreciate your patience, but really we're just making you wait so more people can arrive to watch the series today. Yeah.
Maybe Memp got front page in 25 minutes.
In 25 minutes. I don't know. But yeah, we hope things get a bit better. So. But Nilly, we have to get creative now. We've talked about Slavs. Ooh. Do we have Trirem or like Ornlu or anyone with really specific game knowledge out there? We could do like a quiz.
Okay. What kind of quiz? Should I ask you Age of Empires questions or what?
Yeah, you know what? You can quiz me. Let's go. I'm ready.
Okay. I can quiz you.
Okay. I'm so stressed.
Okay, any question or?
Any Age of Empires related question. Yep.
Okay.
Use your judgment.
What is the prize pool for 9th till 16th place for Hidden Cup 3?
Oh. This would be embarrassing if I don't know this. How dare you ask this? I want to say that it was $1,600. It was either $1,600 or $800, one or the other.
Okay. You're really good. It was 1,256. So in between.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's good. Okay, all right. So in between. In the middle.
Okay.
The funny thing is I sent the prize pool to the players too, so I should know that, but...
Okay, what's the cost of a Berserker?
Oh god, whose idea was it to play this game? 65 food, 20 or 25 gold. I'm gonna pick
25 gold. Correct, Tristan.
Woo! Can we move on to the $1,000 question, please?
Okay, $1,000 question.
I've got all my lifelines. I'm also not gonna look at chat because chat's guessing now. So.
Okay. How many resources does a Victoria produce
Wait,
That's
so
the
you mean
question.
like
per second?
per second? So I have to add them all up. Okay, I think
Yeah.
it's six.
Okay.
I have to talk out loud because that's how my brain works. Surprise, surprise. I think it's 16 food per second. I think it's
16
16.
food per second.
No, that's not right.
Okay.
1.6. What am I talking about? So I think it's 1.6, 0.08, point. Okay, just pick a general number. I think it's like around like 3.5, right?
3.5? Yeah, that's really good. I think it's 3.6.
Okay, yeah, because you have, I think it's, the only reason I know this is because the last time I saw Fitorias used in a game, I showed a screenshot of the change. And I think it's 1.6, no, yeah, 1.6 with food, and then 0.08, and then stone and gold's a bit lower. Apparently Memb is back, so we'll be back in
What is
business soon.
exactly 1? Gold is 0.7, stone is 0.3.
Okay. I also may have been helped. I think you asked that question to Doubt and Viper when you did a little video on that, right?
Okay. I didn't know you watched
But
that. Yeah.
but I believe I was really surprised. Didn't Viper say hundreds or something? Viper was way off.
Viper stopped at 40, and I think Doubt wanted to go into the 500s or something.
Yeah, I just recall thinking, wow, these guys are not the smartest. So,
Do you want to be part of the quiz?
I would love that. You know, you
Who do you want to face?
I would lose so bad. I don't know.
We can find someone dumb.
Well, we're gonna do you remember when I did Jeopardy in the past?
Yeah.
So I had downloaded the Jeopardy program and was gonna start those videos again, and then you did the quiz videos, so we can have like competing, or friendly competition game shows, and I will join yours. That's fine.
Okay.
But I think naturally it makes sense to do Dave. So like have Dave, who has a very, I'd say he has more overall Age of Empires knowledge, but a large percentage of that is information no one would know.
Okay. I can squeeze in some hidden cup questions. I know you would really be educated on those.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, fair enough. Sounds good. But yeah, it's a nice idea. There's so much with Age. Like it's Spirit of the Law does a great job with all the little details within Age of Empires. And I don't think there's ever going to be we're never going to run out of questions and ideas within Age, which is what makes this game timeless.
Yeah. That's lovely. So people are saying Memb is back. We don't have an official info yet, so probably he's trying to set everything up, and I think you will need to stay calm for another at least 3-4 minutes. Yeah, Neely versus Spirit of the Law. The question is like, who is making the questions? And honestly, I think people are overestimating how good Spirit of the Law would perform in those questions, because there are a lot of like esport focused ones in Age of Empires history.
Also think he's a research oriented guy, so I don't know if he's would necessarily know it off the top of his head, but he puts a lot of time and effort into the production behind it. So, but yeah, esports wise, I think the questions wouldn't make sense to include him. But I know he'd probably be down.
Yeah, probably.
He'd probably be down for it.
Yeah, now people are like, oh, isn't he a good player? And I think he is a really good player. Don't get me wrong. It's just like, there are very few people in the world that are craving Age of Empires esports as much as I do.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. I can't stop thinking about it personally. There's a few people in Twitch chat right now who might rival you. They're just like, what?
This
can't
guy
go anywhere.
He missed 2 tournaments in 2005.
No, I mean,
no, I caught up with them.
All right, Nilly. Well, we're getting close then. So, Liereyy, let's just rewind, talk about the position the players are in for those who might have been more focused on the Q&A than anything. Lierey's in the lead here. He's down a game. He needs to win this game, otherwise he's out of the tournament. He is in the lead. Economically, he's got more going for him. He's killed more. He's denying more. And knowing Liereyy, he'll probably keep that momentum going. So it will be tough for Yo, but he has those slab farms to rebound with.
Question is though, are we going for mass skirmishes? Like you need to build something that is not super reliant on gold to really use those farms, right?
Yeah.
Skirms are good, knights are good. Against Mangonel and Rambai, that wouldn't be the craziest thing. The big question is like, how is Liereyy trying to design his map? And the right hand side villager, is she just chasing the village, the scout there, or is she being set up to create the big wall to secure the stone?
Maybe both. I think so. Liereyy has two decisions here because Yo, as you said, is probably going to go heavy skirm. So Leary's going to realize that, all right, I'm not going to be able to make any archers and do any real economic damage. You can add a stable almost immediately after this game resumes and make a few scouts to counter those skirms. Or you could wall, save the food, and go castle and play defensive with a few of your own skirms. So Liereyy tends to... I don't see a lot of feudal age stables from him. He tends to just want to get to the next stage, but in my eyes, those would be the options for him. Also, I'm a little bit... hopefully, when the players unpause, it works. Maybe I shouldn't... maybe it's a bad omen for me to bring it up, but sometimes with DE, when there's a long pause, it doesn't resume.
That happened in the early patches, right? I don't remember that for quite some time.
Okay.
But we didn't really have that. So apparently the update is Memp is now streaming with his cell phone internet because there's server maintenance in his internet. And he is apparently in the game, fast forwarding now. So I assume we might start within the next 2-3 minutes.
Jeez, this would be a great time for him to be like, this stream is advertised by... Boom. Plug for whatever company that is. If it's working, it's working. Glad to hear he's back.
It's just like ACCM being sponsored by AOE2builds.com and then playing the worst fast castle build order ever.
Well, isn't Huang also sponsored by... I think Huang's also sponsored.
I didn't find his strategies and build orders on that website.
That's so funny. All right, so we're close here. And we're back. PogChamps in chat. Let's go. Ladies and gents, I hope you took your restroom break because Leary's in the lead. If he wins this, we go on to game 7, but he's got to close it out. He immediately shifts away from the berries and heads towards that wood line.
Yeah, he had a lot of time to think about that one. Mr. Yo forgot about the scout and lost that. We see now some more houses trying to defend their skirm defense. Defense upgrade could be lovely for Mr. Yo as well.
Yeah, right. So the man-at-arms, they do get extra attack, but they'll do so little here now that Yo has enough archers in the mix. And good defense from Mr. Yo so far. Remember, he is behind, though, and it is Liereyy dictating the pace of the game.
I think Liereyy dove in a bit too far there. It was just 9 against 5 military. All of a sudden, Mr. Yo looks a bit hotter there with the defense. Loses quite a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Liereyy maybe long break, really was excited to fight, went in too deep. Will we see a stable at home, or is it going to be walls, or apparently neither? Just going to add his own skirms. This is such a Liereyy thing to do, to just play completely open at home.
Yeah, but for now, you don't need the walls, right?
Yeah,
you know exactly where your opponent's army is.
Hey, I just feel like if the roles were reversed, Yo's thinking, let's wall up. If just in case. Leary's thinking, nope, I'm going to take the fights. I still have the lead. We're fine.
Thing is, he doesn't have the greatest walls at the bottom anyways, right? Yeah, but most players just take one villager and try to create something thinking about the very long game. Liereyy, well, we already seen it today. He sometimes tries to finish the games before we go into the long game.
This is my favorite thing about Liereyy nowadays, is just how quick he goes in for the kill. In the past, it was kind of a negative part of his play, but he sorted out some of the mid-game issues he would have. And we have a stable for Yo. All right, that's a panicky stable too. He's building that with 4 villagers.
Well, and you think, yeah, he really wants to pump out those scouts. Well, he has 80 food in the bank, so it's not going to be too crazy.
Exactly, and I think Liereyy, he's adding his own stable, and if he wants to go for scouts, Nilly could make more with more upgrades. Man, that micro from Liereyy, like that archer's still alive there.
Yeah, and you know that archer actually clicked the villager, then Mr. Yo microed the villager back, the archer followed into the stable, and therefore it was scouted. So that wasn't actually intentional by Liereyy.
All right, so Liereyy sees it, knows what's coming.
Oh, and you know why you wall at home? So that 3 archers can't sneak in.
Okay, this is the frustrating thing about Liereyy. There's a reason people wall. Will Liereyy react to this? And will Yo be able to get good value here? Is that him reacting, or are those his villagers bugging out because of it?
Villagers reacting.
Oh my god, you're kidding me.
Liereyy, okay. I should have knocked earlier.
Alright, well, he loses one vill and is off his wood line. The scout and the skirmisher should be enough. And another goes down, and now we have another pause. There's also some weak villagers on the gold. So that was kind of what we had said, Nilly. Like, Liereyy is ahead. A lot of players do a bit more to stay ahead with some walls. And we'll wait to hear word on this one.
And neither player dropped here, because we just had microfights at the front, so most of the time the game is still continuing while one player seems like he's not doing anything. So that's not the issue.
And we're back. All right. And will Yo get another Vill pick? It's going to be dangerously close. Yo's not even microing it, but neither is Liereyy. And the villager? Villager? What? Dead.
I think Mr. Liereyy dropped, no? What? Is he? No, he didn't drop. But he didn't do anything there.
No, it looks like a drop. And Yo is kind of back in this game now. 40 villagers versus 39. He's got Slav farmers. Suddenly I'm thinking, oh no, Nilly's going to say Slavs are better than Burmese now. No, it's just been a great game and a good performance from Yo to stay in this.
I just remember one of the most disrespectful things ever. Hera is playing on his stream, and he's raiding his opponent and kills like 20 villagers, pauses the game, and he's like, dude, did you drop? And the opponent's like, no, I'm here.
What? He said that? Oh, he said that? You think it, you never say it.
It's the most disrespectful thing ever.
Oh boy.
Rubbing it in.
I just got like secondhand anxiety from hearing about that. And is Yo really going for greedy approach again here? He's not producing more scouts. He knows that Liereyy has scouts. He stopped producing. It looks like he wants to go up to the next stage with the market.
500 food, 400 or 500 gold in the bank, so can easily buy himself up. Liereyy, he isn't taking foot off the gas, though, goes for bloodlines.
Wow.
Market by him, and his walls exclude the stone.
His walls exclude the stones, no Erembai in the future, but Yo has Castle Age in his near future. So Liereyy went from falling behind to then adding the stable and then putting his foot way, well, I was going to say way too heavy on the gas, but no, never mind. He's still clicked up. And he's got the scouts with forging.
Sick.
Well done.
Did he buy himself up? Oh, and now he goes onto stone after those walls?
What?
I'm so confused.
What is this base? So weird. But I don't, like, this is where I feel like, yes, Slav farms are better. And obviously Yo has a little bit more momentum here. But I feel like you just play this into knights and monks like you do any other civ. Or at least if you're going to go to stone, freaking wall it up.
Oh, he's camping with the skirms, knows that his opponent only has skirms at home as well. So he knows he can't be counterattacked now. Maybe he's just building a TC there. But still, okay, at the top walls could have been easier. Well, maybe they took one of the strategic pauses and let MBL take over.
Yeah, it looks like MBL in a rated game. It definitely does. Yo trying to free up this wood line. That wood line's a disaster. That's a new lumber camp he just built. And he's going to make another one now in the south. But yeah, Liereyy, I can't say he did all that much with the scouts. He just sniped a villager there. But he's on one stable. So this means that Yo's going to have quite a bit of momentum.
Well, we'll see about that. For now, he's sitting at home. And can you maybe just, well, get the sledgehammer and really hammer your castle through there? I think he's already buying. Yeah, he's getting the castle up there.
Yeah, I think you buy it and build it immediately if you're Liereyy. And maybe add a knight or two in the meantime. He places it there. I like the castle spot. I just don't like how he's open. I feel like Yo's just going to run right by and snipe villagers in there before the castle's complete. We'll see.
What? With what?
Well, if he's coming with the knights, right? Like, if there's no walls, I think Liereyy could easily quick wall it. There's already a scout in there, and the scout is going to snipe a vill, or should. And Mr. Yo chooses to continue to move along.
Waltz that one in, and... Okay.
That could have been better. I feel like if that's another player, maybe a few more villagers die there. Not Yo's strong suit. Those little snipes.
Okay, so both player now with the monastery. Obviously, Liereyy will have the bonus and see every one of them. Can't be too unhappy to see all 5 of them still in reachable range. Castle now up, and I would be surprised if the Knights find too many kills.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking better now. I really felt like Yo was going to get there a bit faster. I think I just misjudged it. As we have Liereyy going for 1, 2, 3 TCs, making Erembai. Back to our point from earlier.
One tree with really 7 wood for an overchop. Okay, no, he goes for another. He goes for the palisade.
Yeah, it goes for the palisade. But yeah, Burmese, they normally don't have a lot of ranged units. Yo does have some skirms, though.
What was it? KOTD 2, game number 9, Liereyy against Viper. Viper getting the perfect map and getting to Rembai, winning the tournament for himself.
Yep.
Maybe Liereyy wanted some redemption in that form.
Yeah, I mean, it was a different time, too, but my goodness, yeah, he's sitting back here. I like how he has his own skirmishers, though, because he can use his skirms to cancel out the skirms from Yo, while also using the Erembai for the Knights. This is Burmese, this is Burmese exactly where they need to be. Eco and Erembai, Nilly.
Yeah, ideally, some form of siege included as well, right?
Sure.
Because if you get to Mangonels, the enemy skirms aren't doing anything anymore.
Oh, the Knights got in somehow, and a villager goes down. Liereyy is on 3 TCs, but he's taken some losses. But that said, Yo's only on 1, adding his second.
There were so many holes in this walls, and like the scout got in, he plugged a hole.
Yep.
Now the Knights get in, he's plugging a hole. Is over chopping at one end, and well, there's still the huge hole at the front. Feels like a Swiss cheese.
Oh man. 5 Erembai, make that 6 Erembai. I feel like the most important thing for Liereyy is keeping his Erembai numbers up. Like, eventually, he'll have the eco to maybe add in some Knights for those skirms that Yo has, but for now, he's mainly on Erembai, which means he's defensive, and there's another hole. It is Swiss cheese. So weird.
Buddy. Mr. Yo House at the moment is doing a good job of collecting relics. Already has 2 for himself.
Wow.
But, well, only now 30C, while Liereyy is booming happily for quite some time.
What? How did that? Oh, wow, he clicked the farm.
He clicked the farm.
How is that? That's unfortunate. He clicks the farm there, and awkward fight. Not sure about this one, Nilly. It feels better for Yo.
Skirms are pretty low. Could maybe jump on those, but skirmishes for Liereyy, they don't stand a chance against those Knights.
And they don't. And Yo, at this point, he's got slabs with 20 on food. Liereyy, 14 on food. He does have quite a few farmers idle. But Yo just not hesitating to run in. He really wants to get to these finals.
But honestly, the Rembai can now just micro back and forth. Wheelbarrow on the later side, but look at Mr. Yo's upgrade. Neither Wheelbarrow nor the second farm upgrade. Mangonel popping any second. I don't think you really want to fight with the Rembai at the moment.
Yeah, at this point, I think the skirms go down, as you said, Nilly. The Knights will unfortunately run away, and Mr. Yo's got to decide on what he does. Mr. Yo just did a lot with his gold. Did he buy res? He had 600. I think he might have bought some res. He's making more skirms at home.
Not unlikely, and honestly, if he wants to stay on skirms and he's doing university, so he most likely wants to go for more, I think he should have retreated there. Like, 7 skirms, all of them super low HP. It was guaranteed that they get picked off.
Yeah, and Knights now looking a lot less strong, especially if you do this, Mr. Yo. But what was the composition that Viper used against Liereyy in the game you mentioned in King of the Desert 1?
Mangonel or Rembai.
Yeah.
And Liereyy played mass crossbowmen. And to finish the game, he put 50 crossbowmen on stand ground and let Viper shoot them.
Yeah, he's like, I'm dead. And it was probably one of the biggest shots in Age of Empires tournament history, but Liereyy was like, you could tell he's just like, have them. You've earned it. Oh, wow.
Okay,
this is such an insane unit.
Oh, let's take a look. Well, he's trying to stop them from growing down to 6 skirmishes only again.
It's not a bad situation for Liereyy, and it might be a rare moment where Liereyy considers a forward castle. Would he do that?
Oh,
No.
he is already building one very defensively there with
Yeah.
only 3 villagers, so no rush apparently.
Oh, big Mackinac shot, Nilly, and the other skirmishers are all weak. Big shot.
I can't really engage there. Guard tower defense now by Mr. Yo. Something we don't see too often from him either. Builds another defensive siege workshop as well.
A hole! Like, Liereyy, everything's going fine for you. This is how you throw games when you have a lead. It is so frustrating as the Knights and the Scouts run in.
But it's still only +1 defense Knights, right? So eventually they might die. But yeah, are finding more kills here. Forcing a lot of idle time.
It's frustrating because that's all voidable, you know? Like, Yo probably feels like he can't do anything with these Knights anyways, and he's had an opportunity now. But still,
that's
Lierey's position on the front is amazing, and his eco is looking pretty good once he sorts out these idols.
Yeah, the 7 villages ahead was more ahead earlier though, so the raids clearly did some damage.
Yeah, I just saw 2 go down at the tail end of this attack. We didn't see the forward castle. Guard tower defense for Yo. Dave always says that these Slav guard towers look like salt shakers.
Salt shakers?
I think that's the quote. It's his quote, not mine.
Oh, Dave. Okay.
Liereyy in a good position to take the fight against this, but I don't think Liereyy microed it that well. There we go. He's focused on it, and yeah, the skirm's even going down here.
Yeah, but Salt Shaker is shaking quite a bit, and, well, dealing some damage from distance, and the Rambai can't sit there.
Yeah. I think Liereyy, who's on 39 on food, he's not producing units that cost food. He's got to think about Imp and Nilly. Is it worth it to get Elite Erembai right away in early Imp, or should you be thinking about contributing with something else?
I'm a big fan of using mass farms and going Hussars in this spot.
Yeah.
I think this is the more natural counter to your opponent, constrain him, and then later go into Erembai. I think the step from normal Erembai to Elite Erembai isn't that big, right? It's 17 to 19 damage.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same. I think it's too expensive and it takes too much time. Whereas if you go, and we see scale barding now, if you go for stables, the Erembai is still a stick unit, still doing a lot of damage, and then you can counter the unit that's currently out there to counter your Erembai, and also split up. Like, Erembai need to be in one ball. Lightcav can be everywhere.
Yeah, that's so true. Also thinking maybe Burmese could go champion as well. I think he has enough map control to maybe go for it. But Hussar just guarantees you to control the game.
Yeah. Now, you also want to make sure you have Erembai around. Because if you lose all your Erembai, then Halb counter is huge for Yo. And for whatever reason, Liereyy... Oh, wow. He's thinking about taking the fight. And he's dodging ballistics.
Oh, good job there. Now jumps under it. 2 skirms down. We'll find more kills. And, well, honestly, with those 2 towers... It wasn't that cost efficient. How many did he lose? Like 4 Erembai?
Yeah, 4 or 5 killed 8 or 9. It's not a gold unit. I was surprised that Liereyy stayed in there. Yo building a castle on the front. He's finally on his way to Imp. I think Yo needs tons of walls.
I think he needs tons of more villagers there. The castle isn't looking too hot.
Scout castle. Castle at 83%. Oh, that's huge. Lierey's going to be an Imp faster. Lierey's denying the castle. He has all the momentum in the world. He has the additional relic Nilly. He sees some extra golds.
Oh, and how did he let that one happen, Mr. Yo? If you built that castle, why were you out on the map with those skirmishes?
Yeah.
You need to protect that area. This is so good. I don't see a chance how he's getting control there. I think he's now leapfrogging forward with guard tower to somehow get some villagers forward.
I think if Yo wins this game, it's because the power of Slavs. And also, maybe because Liereyy allows him to get back into it by not taking map control, not tech switching. Yeah, Liereyy should not allow this castle to go up for quite some time.
He's already doing a reasonable amount of damage there, HP-wise as well.
Yeah.
Regrouped a bit. Hussar is coming in. Plate Barding armor is coming in as well. Now sends more villagers. And yeah, another tower. The castle will go up, I believe.
Okay, we're salt shakers. Plate Barding almost complete. Now the tower will get denied. Everything gets denied here. Hussar is able to kill everything Mr. Yo has. There's no question that Hussar is the move here, Nilly. Because without that, I think the skirmishers could at least held on enough to get that castle up.
Hussar just feels so good because the natural counter against the Erembai is the ranged unit. And most of the time, if you play Burmese, You have lots of villagers on wood, lots of villagers on gold. But Liereyy actually clicked up to input 42 farmers, which is really impressive that he has such a good eco behind this.
Yo just trapped the hussars. So that's something. Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, there they go.
It's the Chinese cheese trap.
Yeah. What?
And they're back!
Lierey's coming back! He's like, surprise, buddy! Surprise, I'm not gone. I've only just arrived. And he's actually going to make it back there. That's huge.
And villagers to the front again. Skirms moving forward and Rambai moving in as well, though.
It's so funny. And he gets reward for it, Nilly. The raids begin. And the Erembai... Oh, there's so many of them dead on the front.
Well, happens. He's killing quite a lot of infantry. More villagers going down as well. And Liereyy not producing villagers for quite some time, but...
Still good.
Produces a lot of hussars.
Yeah, still good. The hussars forced 20, 30 villagers to go idle. This castle might be destroyed. It's at 86% now and only 1200 HP. So even if it's completed, it's on fire. But Nilly, do you sense it? Do you sense that we might be heading to a game 7? It very much feels like it for me.
Feels like it, yeah. And this is the longest game in multiple ways, right? First of all, we had the long pause, but both players actually in Imperial Age. Something we didn't have in the series, right? And we
yeah.
are 6 games in.
It's like the series is getting closer as it goes on. And does Yo delete that? I think Yo deleted that for just a little bit of stone reward. Oof. I guess no choice. If you don't feel like you're going to build it, delete it. Yo's only going trash right now, so... skirmishers and halberdiers, which realistically can do pretty well against what Lierey's going for.
Yeah.
Can't do all that well if Liereyy makes a switch into champions.
Yeah, champions just completely ruffle stomp this. No way around that one. Tries to build another castle there. Did he buy that one?
I
He is
wasn't
not
paying
having any
attention.
villagers on stone.
He
was
not
sitting
paying
at
attention.
269 stone. I think he bought 400 stone to build that castle.
And it might be denied as he's getting raided by Liereyy, who researched the unique tech for Burmese to do more damage against buildings with the Erembai.
Got into the houses there quite quickly. He's finding more villager kills. 26 idle. More villagers dying at the front.
Oof.
This time the castle will go up, though.
Yeah, castle goes up. And Liereyy is already making a trebuchet from his castle on the other side of that. And still has the army back here. He's diving in deep with these Erembai. It's an expensive unit, but he doesn't care.
I don't like the too much, but... like, I like the dive. He obviously mismicroed a bit now against all the TCs. I think he has them on aggressive stance. I would probably prefer on...
stand ground or something,
ground.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think what Liereyy realizes at the moment is the longer he stays in the back of Yo's base, the less that Yo's going to have forward to defend that castle. Oh, man, this is a costly loss. Oh, God.
Yeah, and Elite Erembai is just being clicked as well.
Is it even worth it? I think Elite Erembai is pretty expensive, right?
I think something like 1.1k and 700 or something in that ballpark.
Yeah, that's... I mean, if he's able to push this castle in the front, it's just a repeat of the previous situation. So he's completely fine. But yeah, Elite Erembai will complete after he's lost most of the Erembai in the back. Ouch!
Okay, now he has 7.
Alright, well, he has them at least.
Oh yeah, and look at that, tech switch is coming in. Longsword being tagged, scale armor as well, and the castle at the front is getting trapped. And Mr. Yo is basically an army, was building an army to hold,
Yes.
but never to win.
Yeah, and that's pretty... Like, Slavs normally push with that holding army. It sounds weird. But you see a lot of, like, trash and siege from them.
Yeah, but where's the siege?
But where's the siege? Exactly. Where's the position to push with the siege? He doesn't even... He can't take his 4-tile gold in the south. He's really been struggling for resources. And I think while Liereyy hasn't been the most convincing with the timing on the tech switch and the use of the Erembai, he still is way ahead here and has the position to switch and win this game.
Yeah, Trent Wardman's now coming in, and another upgrade.
Supplies! I wouldn't even say it in that situation, but when I'm with you, I have to.
I think so as well.
And so supplies, Burmese already had a fantastic infantry line, and then supplies was introduced to them and many other civilizations. Makes it even stronger, and, well, Hussar's back in. Another army that Yo's going to have to deal with. Another reason he can't push.
Okay, quiz time. How many civilizations did get supplies when it was introduced?
When it was introduced? I think when it was introduced, it was like all civs but 3. Or 4, right? Like, Goths didn't get it? I don't think Huns ever got it. Or was it all but
was
Goths?
34. So we're pretty close, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's 34.
Yeah, they
and now
changed it.
some lost it again. Yeah.
I would like to see some civilizations that are already really strong get it removed, so they don't have that tech switch as easy. But the Burmese should have it, and Burmese are gonna stomp with it. Nice raids from Liereyy everywhere. It's sad for the Hussars, but it's worth it for Liereyy to toss away Hussar bodies for Vil kills in this situation.
Just look at those twin assortment now. 12 plus 7. Ay. They're hungry to get some kills.
And also Erembai. Like, what more do you want against trash units?
And this won't be a fair fight. Is he waiting for champions? No, he's waiting for plate mail armor. Takes the fight a bit too early.
I didn't like the timing on the fight, but again, I think Liereyy is in a position where he can still justify doing this, and only two-handed swordsmen are destroying, and we are going to a game 7. Wow.
Crazy stuff. And that's what the experts predicted. A super close series. Either player could take it, and we are going to distance. Not the greatest timing there in the end fight, but Liereyy was so far ahead. Now the big question, was it Burmese or was it Liereyy?
Both. Both. I just, based on the civilizations that he had remaining, Nilly, I feel like Burmese, like when you're expecting Slavs, it's a good counter to get Slavs out of the picture. And then what's he have? Khmer for game 7? That's a dream scenario for any player.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I'll restart my game.
Okay.
Liereyy had more of every resource except stone. He destroyed. He was way ahead there. I'll restart my game, and we can only speculate. This has been so cool.
Yeah, it's now basically a best of 1 for $5,000 plus your share of another $8,000. So let's just say you're even against MBL. This is a best of 1 for $9,000.
Okay, so what you're saying is that Liereyy can be like, "Hey, mom," like if his mom's ever like, "Hey, stop playing video games," he's like, "Mom, 9,000, come on, I'm doing it."
Did you? I actually probably never told that story. NAC, I'm obviously designing those tournaments to have Liereyy around.
Yeah.
In his school free time.
Yeah, you design it around Lierey's school. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So basically when he has holidays, right? And NAC2, he calls me a week before it starts.
Oh, God.
And asks me like, Nilly, isn't it starting tomorrow? And I'm like, no, it's starting in a week. And he's like, I'm having holidays now. And then I said like, okay, what can we do? And he actually went to his principal and asked him to get his week off school.
So yeah, he got a week off school.
Yeah, and the principal said, yeah, okay.
That's
so he had
sick.
a week of holiday and then had NSC another week after that.
Yeah. I tried the same growing up, except I wasn't a pro player and they didn't believe me. So they're like, wait,
hey,
have you show us your farms?
Hamburg.
Yeah, show us
and they
your
ask
farms.
You, Tristan, show Hamburg on the map. And you're like,
It's 15-year-old me tried that. It didn't work. Okay, so we've got Cumans and Saracens for Yo. I would say 2 YOLO civs in different directions. Saracens normally YOLO aggression. Cumans kind of YOLO boom. And then Liereyy has 2 choices, both of which he'd like. Like, I think most players would pick Khmer here, but it's Liereyy, and he's so good with archer civs, so Ethiopians might suit him.
I'm already in the game.
All right, I'm going to be right behind you, Nilly. What do we have?
I like that he didn't go for Cumans and tried to play a standard game. He apparently didn't have a strategy prepared, so Mr. Yo is going for Saracens. Liereyy, he loves Ethiopians. I think it could have been a viable option, but it's Khmer just so strong. Mobility here, so that was his pick, and he obviously picked it so early on as well.
They're right next to each other. They're so close. Yo is Saracens. He needs the gold and he needs to use the market, and all of his golds are forward. This is not so good for him.
And Liereyy has a really good map. Back berries, double back woodline, defensive gold as well. He can create a very small base for himself.
Yeah.
This is a colossal task for Mr. Yo.
Oh my god, just right off the bat, man. At a disadvantage, maybe with the civs overall, and then to have these maps. Hills
Seems
everywhere, berries forward, and then you have back berries, as you said, for Liereyy, and all 3 of his golds on the back. Huge. So how do you approach this if you're Yo?
The main gold isn't that bad, right?
Yep,
It
yep.
is reasonably close to your wood line, or not shot. And I know that you hold your breath. You hold your breath. It's still wallable, right? I think you can build the barracks next to the gold, archery ranges, and it is not the prettiest map. Secondary third gold isn't great, but
It's still, yeah, you're right. You only need, how frequently does the game go on long enough where Saracens take their second and third golds? That's something to bring up. Like that, at the high level, Saracens are normally waiting before they make that switch, or at least they're way ahead at that point.
And also with Saracens, before you go for a secondary gold, you actually go into stone
Yep.
because it has a better trading rate. So look at the main gold, look at the stone. Stone, not that pretty.
And full walls for Yo. Is this going to be fast castle for him? He has 3 villagers walling in Dark Age here.
Wow.
He's pushing in all of his hunts as well.
Wow. This is easily punished by a tower by Liereyy. But as we saw several times, he's not the guy to go for the sneaky tower.
He actually went forward. He saw the berries, and he said, okay, that's enough. That's all I need to see, because I'm going to drush that. And he's making a barracks with Khmer. He did this before. And I was so shocked, because there's almost no other pros who would add a barracks with Khmer. Everyone wants to go fast feudal scouts. Lierey's like, give me the militia.
Yeah. He's also known to just go archers and then try to play pop 20 there. Huh? Just playing some mind games, but Mr. Yo might be just playing against those. Will be fully walled. And if Liereyy tries to play Drush into Flush,
Yep.
then a sneaky fast castle is tough. And like Saracens can play everything. They can play double archery range. They can go for the sneaky stable. Behind walls, they're so deadly.
Yeah, let's talk positives here off the back of this build for Liereyy. So if he were to be aiming for scouts, he'd already be on his way, well, soon be on his way to feudal, right? So at that point, he'd see the walls, he'd say, oh shoot, well, I don't know what I do, I guess I'll try and tower. And oftentimes it doesn't work. Like, Yo's expecting that. But if you go Drush, and you arrive as he's about to and you see the walls, you can choose to go fast castle as well, which I think would put Liereyy in a more reasonable position. Though it doesn't stop Saracens from doing what they want to do, which I think is the biggest problem.
I think Liereyy plays it differently, though. If he wants to play scouts, he pushes the deer, then goes forward and scouts. Here he scouted first, saw the distance, pushed deer, and then went into the drush.
How surprised do you think he is to see the walls? Do you think that this is a shock to him? Or do you think he was almost expecting it?
That he can't get in at 8 minutes.
Yeah.
He's rereading the nick if it isn't MBL.
I love how MBL's in the finals waiting, and we're still we talk about it how like is this negative thing? Like obviously it's worked very well for him.
Oh god. Tristan, like I know that you're a cheese expert. Is there something like in Austrian cheese? Because look at the walls of Liereyy again, between the house and the palisades.
Oh whoa.
That's such an obvious hole, but that's something you won't look at again.
I think you're confusing it. I'm an expert on cheese strategies, not actual cheese. Yeah. Wait, okay, question for you. Who made my Liquipedia profile? Was that you?
No.
I thought it was you. Was it Robo then?
What's on there? Like, no, there's different people editing.
Okay.
Like, everyone can edit
The only thing it says under my name on Liquipedia, AoE2, is he is known for making Force Nothing popular. Last I checked, the only thing it says.
Okay. If you want to, I will edit is famously known for being scared of ducks.
That's good as well.
Okay, I will add that.
Like, I was a little bit offended. Like, come on, you can't think of anything else. But no, I mean, maybe that's been changed. I was under the impression it was you who made my profile, so no worries.
I did edit something during a cast with Dave. I did edit trivia post.
Yeah, okay. Well, Liereyy knocking on the door, and he is trying to match the FC, but what's the big difference between these fast castle builds?
Well, it will be Saracen, and he can go for the market and can then decide what he wants to go for. Liereyy, I don't really expect him to go for crossbow. Maybe. Honestly, if you're Khmer, don't you want to play like pop 30 and
What?
just instantly click up?
Probably. Yeah. Yeah, you probably do. Do you see what Yo's making right now?
It's stable.
It's worked
I'm
before.
not surprised.
Yeah, it's worked twice, right? So actually, the one game it worked was Knights, the other one was Longswords and Siege. So,
And it's also what Liereyy died to against against Doubt.
Doubt, yeah.
Now some villagers dropping off. If like Liereyy was super aware, he now knows about the uptiming of Mr. Yo. Because why are suddenly 4 villagers dropping off berry food?
Yeah, yeah. Also, it's almost expected that Saracens are going to be so much faster than you after they sell the stone. This is such a unique strat, and here comes Yo. Lierey's not even looking for it, Nilly.
I'm so scared for that hole, honestly. Like, that hole alone could be the game deciding. And Liereyy, he's building an archery range and a blacksmith instead of clicking up.
He's looking as well. Look! He's looking to see, is he going to sneak? And the villagers are already out. This is perfect for Yo if he wants to get the forward buildings. Wow.
Liereyy. Unfortunate and unlucky at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, why is he's not thinking about his Civ bonus?
There he goes up. I mean, he's going to have an archer a bit faster. But yeah. There he goes. Yo is just going to put it right in his face. There's no reason not to unless an archer arrives. But even one archer wouldn't be enough to stop it. Are you surprised at how bold Yo is being? Oh, he didn't know much about this. Oh, and he sees the hole.
He sees the hole. Let's think. Are the villagers going in another direction?
Nearly, I'm losing my mind. It's game 7. Why so close? This is not Huang, by the way. This is Yo. Oh!
We didn't talk about the pretty solid castle edge timings here.
I think Yo scouted the gold.
47 and 16-12.
Like, Yo wants to get the Siege Workshop up on the golds, which is funny enough because we were talking about the golds being bad for Yo. Can two villagers complete a Siege Workshop over here?
I think he needs to run far.
Yeah, maybe a bit further, build it. You could wait for the Knight, though. You wait for the Knight, and then the Knight clears out the archers, and then you can do it.
Ah, he didn't have a blacksmith. He couldn't build a siege workshop.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so there's the blacksmith. Oh, that could be massive, because Liereyy knows. Liereyy knows it's over here. And the militia are on the prowl. Okay, now he can... The blacksmith's completed, but can he get the buildings down? Uh-oh, Liereyy micros away with this scout. Well played. Oh, what an interesting game here, Nilly. So I guess minor mistakes from both.
0-0 KD, right?
Yeah.
And so much has happened.
Oh. How much do you need? Probably 2 knights to kill this army from Liereyy before it's upgraded. Yo, you need to get that siege workshop down sooner rather than later, and he's actually running back to make a monastery. I don't like this for Mr. Yo all of a sudden.
Oh, maybe he still knows about the hole.
But...
Knight at the top winning, knight at the bottom winning as well.
That's actually, yeah, that's good timing on the fight. Before the upgrade, scale barding paying off. Wow.
KD is going to be brutal.
In the end. Like, is Yo just going to go home now and play standard? Why? Like, it's a reasonable fight. He doesn't have the siege workshop yet, which is so peculiar to me. It's full crossbow from Liereyy. If he had scorpions with knights, it'd be sick.
Yeah. Well, that was a big mistake with the siege workshop. By the way, Liereyy walled the bottom there, so that was good for him. Whew, would have been so sad.
Okay, Leary's expecting the siege, right? Like, is he not expecting an all-in now after seeing the vills?
He should. He should.
If it doesn't come, I mean, it might come in a different way, but if there's no all-in here, he might be really confused.
I think he should be more active with scouting here.
He lost that scout. Yo's going to heal the knights. But yeah, Yo, no siege workshop. Just wants to go into knights. Getting bloodlines husbandry. I mean, with those upgrades and these numbers would be great against the crossbows. And look, yeah, Leary's really paranoid right now.
As he should be.
I would be confused. I would never add a TC. I'd probably have the stable going up, maybe even a second stable. Just invest into what you can, because you're thinking Saracens go all in. You have to have military to prep for it, but he just doesn't know what to think. I feel like in many ways this is better for Liereyy as the game goes on if Yo isn't aggressive with his military though, because Yo doesn't have horse collar, Yo doesn't have bow salt. Well, I guess Liereyy doesn't have it either. But
Siege Workshop now being dropped at the left-hand side. I think Liereyy should have gone for the line of sight upgrade as well. Town Watch is just so good in those spots.
does Yo still think that there's a hole there? Maybe he thinks there's a hole, and he's counting on Liereyy not scouting and then just running in. Are they going to pass each other here? They are going to pass each other here. Oh my god, and there's a hole too. Oh my god,
Really
game
bad.
7.
So bad for Mr. Yo.
Wait, he spotted
Luckily,
it.
Monks have a big line of sight. Can he go for the first conversion?
He gets it. That's good, and also is tracking the army now. But no +2 on the knights yet, and the siege workshop is forward. And Lierey's like, hold on a second. He's running over here. He's got to have something. So Lierey's now coming to look. Oh, and Lierey's running back.
So many mind games.
I
Scouts
know.
finally out here. Liereyy really wants to know what's up.
And now Yo's running back because he thinks Liereyy might go to his base. I guess he's healing up.
Liereyy thinks he weathered the storm and is adding a TC, while Yo is still playing full 1 TC all in.
I don't mind the TC here because it's only dangerous if Liereyy cannot field enough knights to take out the siege. And as it stands, Yo only has 1 monk. So if Liereyy goes with crossbows and like 2 or 3 knights, he still snipes the siege and can maybe hold with his micro. But it's still going to be tough.
Knights have very underwhelming upgrades though. Not very easy there. Mangle not even shooting.
I wonder if Lierey's going to remember that he can garrison inside houses if the time comes.
That's another stable. I like that from Liereyy.
If Yo has monks, it's a different story. I think the villagers that are here are going to eventually build a monastery, but all of this has been delayed by a couple minutes.
Liereyy will have to build lots of houses. He, quote-unquote, only queues up 3 here. We'll lose another 3 houses at the front.
No ballistics for Liereyy. Liereyy micros away. Yeah, you're right. He's going to get housed. But no, he's making 3 more. It seems all right for now. And there's the forward monastery. All right, so Liereyy, maybe his time to think about engaging, but there's still too much there. And this might get worse for him, and now he's going for a defensive workshop. Nearly, still lead for Liereyy. 2 TCs pumping, has the farms to do that, but doesn't necessarily have the food income to justify all the knights. A lot of upgrades on the knights with the crossbows. Things are very, very close.
Scouts trying to make something happen behind there, running around, crossbow, feeling the felt a bit. Knights now coming from the front.
Yep, knights coming in with forging. Yo could get an attack round and also get conversions. And Liereyy runs away. He might lose one. He does lose one. Good defense from Yo.
And that was 1 knight converted, 3 scouts lost, and only 1 monk killed.
That's huge. And 3 monks remaining. And now Liereyy is on 4 knights. Not enough. He does have a Maganel on the way, but the all-in, it arrived a moment ago. It's now starting to do damage against that town center. How's your micro, Liereyy? Because it's going to be tested here.
Oh god, I fear a big Mangalore shot coming in. Tristan, hold my hand, please.
I will try and extend my hand over the very large ocean between us. And there, Liereyy gets 1. And I also noticed that Yo's going to stone. And another one from Liereyy!
Oh, that's so good for him.
But Yo will dive!
Oh, not sure about that. Upgrades are only 1 defense upgrade, and he wants to retreat again. Oh, that was costly.
But Liereyy has to micro away, and Liereyy does micro away. It's so crazy, Nilly. It's so crazy what's happening. But I think the Maganel goes down because of the forging upgrade, and Liereyy is about to push right back. He's got enough crossbows, and chain barding was way too late for Yo. Wow.
I think forging doesn't even make a difference against Mangonels, right? They have 0 armor, but oh, another conversion. Crossbow still very much out at the front, and gets it.
Oh my god.
Okay, just dodged.
That was sick. Takes out another Maganel, and he's pushing out with confidence. With absolute confidence, and Yo is taking some awful fights at the moment. Also, the forward villagers are going down. Huge for Liereyy. Considering he's been on 2 TCs this whole time, huge.
Yeah, 2 TCs, but some military losses. We're actually looking at exactly even numbers here. Military numbers way higher for Liereyy. Army value relatively even, but the moment Liereyy sends those 2 knights around, so many exposed villagers.
That's true. Yeah, I was wondering if Yo, who's on stone, was selling the stone and buying res. He must be. He's only got 11 on food. So it's not like he's going to add the second TC. He does have +2 now. And still with Mangonel shots and conversions, this game could flip. But no, Yo needs to wall at home.
Oh, that's
Oh,
tricky,
wow.
Right? Wall in there.
Oh, this is going to give Liereyy some time. It's going to distract Yo. It might make the fight better on the front for Liereyy. Yo hasn't reacted yet.
Oh, some shots at the front. No conversions. Is going for some healing. One Mangonel dead already.
And it should be another one if Liereyy micros it properly. Takes the monks first, runs away.
No survives here.
Okay. The knights will get dealt with. 45 villagers versus 46. Liereyy must have idle TC problems. Yes, TCs aren't creating vills. He's got 300 food. Because he's killed villagers, and it feels like he should be ahead with 2 TCs.
He lost like 5-6 villagers against those Mangonels, so...
Yeah, good micro from both. I also love how Yo added repair vills. That brought forward villagers. But nice snipe from Liereyy, who will also lose his own Mangonel.
Good job. You see like, how intense the game is by how little... Oh yeah, that was a sick dodge again. By how little eco upgrades they have as well, right?
Yeah.
2 eco upgrades in total in this game.
And, you know, I don't care who you are. You've got to be feeling some nerves here in game number 7. Many people around the Age of Empires scene have been saying that, well, not just this feels like a final, but Yo against Viper in the quarterfinals could have been a final. Liereyy against Hera could have been a final. And, oh, that's a good shot. That is worth it if you ask me.
So many low HP now as well, so the next Mangonel that shoots will get way more kills as well. So that first Mangonel should probably even get an assist there, if you ask me. Now, do you think like just counter-attacking again for Liereyy is a good option?
I think
it's open.
Well, you don't know exactly, and then you might not have units here. It's tough to justify. But again, it's another game where Liereyy he does not thrive being on the back foot against these all-ins. And Yo thrives being in this position as... Oh, wow. Liereyy garrisons to save those crossbows. That was cute. Is Yo going to drop a castle? He's getting dangerously close to enough stone to get one.
Where do you even build it? I think it's too risky, right? 50 villagers. Most of the time, you're just trying to sell it.
Here's the
Feels
counter.
more natural with Saracens.
Here's the counter, Nilly. If Yo sees this, he might consider diving. Tell me this is walled up. It's not walled up for Yo. A simple wall off.
One knight, not even changing his path. Mangonel survives at the front. How much is the counterattack doing?
That's I mean, that's going to be massive. Yo has to abandon everything. There's a wood line that's messy as well. And now, if the TC snipes the Mangonel, that's a good start for Liereyy. Liereyy finally has a Vill lead, which seems considerable. And nice momentum lead could be stemming from this, but Yo will not go away.
Oh, God. And those camels finally coming in. Kind of a mistake. Yo sending more camels back. Will be cleared up eventually, but the big momentum that we felt, Mr. Yo had the timing there to get the kill at the front, didn't really happen.
It didn't happen. But the TC is almost halfway down. And Lierey's not making more Mangonels. So you never know. Yo defends there. And here come the villagers. Oh my god. Does Liereyy have a Mangonel on the way? He does. Oh my word, dude. This feels like a tournament final right here. The winner's probably favored to win the final tomorrow. And Yo's going to try and finish off the game, or at least gain a huge lead with a big castle.
70% Mangonel here for Liereyy. He dives in with his crossbows, takes the big hit to start this one off.
Yeah, and he'll have another Mangonel coming out. Now, this could be good, because there might not be any Mangonels remaining for Yo. And now Yo's villagers are exposed. There's no siege from Yo. Big villager losses, but I think the castle still goes up, Nilly. I think the crossbows are not in high enough number to stop it. Here come the camels as well. What a moment.
Lierey's knights were on stand ground or no attack stands there. Some of them didn't fight. It was so weird. Villager count now solidly in favor here for Liereyy, but that castle is going up directly in his face. Score is super even. Liereyy, how does he move from here?
I think it's the counterattacks, Nilly. He's got to find a balance between defending which he will need to do because believe me, the pressure is going to continue. Or counterattacking. Because each counterattack he's gone for has worked. Yo not only is not too focused at home, but he doesn't have the defense at home. He doesn't have the walls at home. And I think Lierey's thinking about it. And Yo, on the flip side, has to continue to ask questions of Liereyy, so Liereyy keeps everything at home.
Ooh, kills the starting to see. Rarely a good scenario. It's like, I think that might be the first time that I see someone losing a starting TC and having the score lead.
Yeah. And here come the Knights and the Light Cav. And again, Yo. Now this time, Yo's making a bit of a switch. He is adding a TC. There's still areas to hit. Liereyy needs a new Siege Workshop too, I think.
Can't produce out of that one.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. He arrives to the gold. Yo's making some defensive Knights here.
Yeah, no bloodlines for those Knights. No defense upgrades. CC will do pretty well against them. Woodline. Liereyy could see it, technically.
Looking around. I mean, he's very focused right now. He just microed down a Maganel. I think if I'm Yo, I consider making... I just take out those ranges as fast as possible. Because Liereyy with mass crossbow, he's done so well and tends to do very well. But yeah, the Knight raid for Liereyy, that should get addressed by all these camels, especially since the camels have more upgrades. Yo, he's got to deal with the crossbows though, because here they come.
Oh, and Yo takes a massive hill fight there as well, so that's really, really good for Mr. Yo. Has to be happy. But yeah, what will those crossbow be able to achieve?
Like, Liereyy realizes, if I stay at home, I'm dead. I need to counter. There's only camels there. So there he goes. And this is almost an invitation for Yo to raid Liereyy. I'm really curious to see how quick Liereyy reacts to, or Yo reacts to this. Liereyy snipes 2 monks there. Well played.
Oh, well, Unique Tech could have been nice there for the first time ever.
Madrasa!
Giving you a gold back if you lose some monks. Not really the best tech of the game.
But this right here is exactly what you would want from a deciding game. Having it be messy and close, counterattacks, different unit compositions, different civilizations, which is obviously going to happen anyways. Oh my goodness, the crossbows from Liereyy. He knows there were villagers on the stone. He finds the other villagers. That could be 5 kills for him. As Yo comes back with the Knights.
Oh, makes a lot of sense, right? He has bloodlines +2 defense, some crossbows still hurt from the fight against the Mangonel, and not a single villager dies here.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I think Liereyy senses the Knights because he doesn't see the Knights at his own base now. But nearly...
Oh, he could find a beautiful spot in the back there. I think Liereyy can't be engaged there. If he goes to the left, yeah.
You're kidding. Now, if there was a Scorpion or a Maganel behind, it'd be beautiful. But yeah, Yo can't engage in that little choke, just Age of Empires things. Look at Lierey's economy behind this, nearly. Remember, all 3 of his golds are back here. He's got plenty of farms. He could maybe go for, like, long-term. Something like, Knight Ram push, either at Yo's base or maybe against that castle, if Yo's out of position.
Oh, that's tricky, though, right? Villagers are around, Siege Workshop behind this one. Ram push always needs a good eco. While the crossbow, they're out of their hiding place.
Oh, and it's the perfect time. Yo was even waiting for it. He's like, is he going to poke his head out of there? And that was great for Liereyy. Denies the town center and also is heading over towards the gold. So Yo's got to get another conversion to save himself.
And Mr. Yo dives in with the Knights, doesn't really want to go for it, sends a Mangonel over, gets another conversion in the center.
Yeah, another conversion. Those Knights should be dealt with. The crossbow's still hiding. Yo's still thinking, I have to finish that TC. And Yo has had 11 farms. No horse collar. Look at these wood lines. Lierey's going to stay here the entire game. This is ridiculous. Oh, maybe not, right? Yo's waiting.
So good for him. No, a Mangonel is coming. That could be really ugly. Bosa, horse color now coming in. Mr. Yo finally arriving in the castle age.
We might look back at this crossbow army as the winning army for Liereyy. He's bought himself so much time. And those Knights that should be raiding Lierey's eco are not raiding Lierey's eco because of them.
Yeah.
They might die, so get ready to remember them. What is that
split? Why are we splitting off? Okay.
That was weird.
Just to make sure to not select the crossbows, we are having a big Mangonel shot coming in.
Keep an eye on the military count, everyone, because these crossbows are going down. There's no question. And after that, Yo will have a big push back. Oh, well.
Dodged.
Dodged. And another dodge
What?
and more micro. I mean, the units will probably die, but... Oh! Okay! Worth it. As we have some knights now. And I think that's going to be the play for Liereyy. He actually got iron casting. And he's going pikeman and knight. I like that move.
Yeah, Khmer, they're just so flexible. So much that they can do. Mr. Yoziko, not that great. Is going for 3 TCs now as well. Not really the typical thing for Saracens to transition out of this. Now the Knight Raid even coming in here by Liereyy at the top. TC finished though.
Yep, TC's finished. Yo has a great archer civ, so we could switch into archers with his units. I can't help but feel like Liereyy might be caught out of position slightly. As Liereyy snipes the monk. Oh, wow, 1 conversion. And also 1 kill. That was so good from Yo. And here come the knights.
But you see around there, maybe if Mr. Yo goes in a bit deeper, more at the top, there would be 30, 40 either exposed villagers.
And you see the pikeman for Liereyy coming home now. So he definitely was not expecting this. And all of a sudden, the Vil count is 88 to 76. And Yo is not idled as much at home. What a game. What a series.
Oh, another eco upgrade there. Liereyy just so far behind in those. And that was a beautiful minute for Mr. Yo. Got so many villager kills. Yeah, some losses of his knights, but it was absolutely worth it. Gets another big shot against the pikeman.
And I also heard ranges. So Yo is going to add ranges. And if he wants to be a madman, I don't know how much gold he has available. He could consider going to Imp. I don't think it's the play here. I think you stay in Castle Age and go Crossbow Knight. But it's Saracens.
Oh, just like 10 crossbow would do so well, right? Knights, only 1 defense upgrade at the moment. Is going for fletching now and drops for archer ranges, university. Still has occasional amount of TCs as well. I think he should be fine against that.
But now I think it's Lierey's turn to arrive at the proper time. He's got good upgrades, and there's not enough crossbows here yet. So now Yo builds a panic TC on the wood line, and he's going to completely abandon part of his eco. So this is just swinging back and forth. Liereyy still has to react.
Look, Mr. Yo's building one, instantly getting eaten by the pikeman. No, Micro's back actually. Good
Or
job.
like micro Luke. That was bad. I'm sorry, but in all fairness, throughout King of the Desert, you've made worse jokes.
Yeah.
Just as bad. Nilly, what a game we have here. Liereyy lost so much underneath the castle. There could be more to deal with if Yo locks down the stones. The crossbows are coming out. 90 villagers versus 85. Unbelievable stuff.
Oh man, pikeman raid here at the starting to see crossbowmen now coming over to clear this one up, but still only fletching on these. Won't be the craziest thing. And the castle now for Mr. Yo actually not controlling anything important.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure he would have loved to see Lierey's gold to be forward like his had been, because then the castle would have probably won the game, much like when he played against Viper. But I'm just so impressed with Mr. Yo. Every time I look, he's pulling back. Well, I say that as he loses these camels, but he's done a good job microing his armies. And now you have, this is where the spam starts to be a problem with Khmer, right? If Yo doesn't have camel numbers, Liereyy could just go light cav and knights. And here it is to the gold. And also, he's sitting underneath the TC in the north.
Lierey's going solid production now. Knights, light cav queued up, more villagers queued up. He has a solid 42 Khmer farmers. He can produce for quite some time.
That's the thing about Khmer. I mean, you get pushed out of your base, whatever. You just place those farms everywhere or anywhere. And just simply due to that, due to not the eco number, but where they're at, what they're doing, and the fact that Yo's now on the back foot, it seems, I think I favor Liereyy if he can use mobility. Horse collar!
Oh,
He had
finally.
farms, but a horse collar. Oh, it's so late.
Another
That
raid now
explains
at the
some
bottom
things.
here for Liereyy. Let's take a look. Might find some kills, but honestly, 2 TCs shooting there, some crossbows around. Shouldn't be the craziest thing ever.
But if Yo can never push forward with the crossbows, Liereyy can endlessly... He can spam light cav and knights endlessly with that amount of farms. So he
can
gains... What's that?
He can decide where he wants to raid. Look at that.
Yeah.
Nice raid at the top again. And he can just go back and mobility now on the side of the Khmer player. And that's what we said, right? They're so flexible. They're so mobile.
Wow. Mr. Yo might have the score lead. He does not have the population lead. And this game is just going back and forth. Now, the downside of swinging in with those knights, Nilly, is if the crossbow mass gets big enough. And I think it's getting big enough. With ballistics, the crossbows are at the number now where they could kill those +2 knights pretty easily. And then I think Lierey's going to have to mix in... Well, he's adding ranges now, so he's thinking skirmishers. But I was thinking siege as well. Could be really important.
He is thinking skirms. Is going for pellet archer armor. Is adding some skirmishes now as well. Crossbow number at 26. Another raid and no reaction by Mr. Yo.
Mr. Yo, well, he tried to react. It's just you can't town center these golds because of the hills. He tried his best. But yeah, I think it was both golds getting hit at the same time. So easy for Liereyy to know where to hit, but I do love how he has constant focus in the north. Because if Yo can get a defensive castle or two, then suddenly these raids are not as much of an option for Liereyy.
Yeah, that's so true. It just feels like the top is so exposed, but the bottom is, well, kind of the more important area.
Yep.
So I don't even know where Yo should build his castle.
Yo, if he was thinking of going imp, he probably would sell all that stone, but he's staying in Castle Age, which is the safe approach. Now he's starting to mop up some of his units. He sees Lierey's trying to switch position on him. He's walling up gaps that were open before. Illy.
So many light cav in Castle Age. Can't remember when we saw that last time.
I don't even think Liereyy could justify going imp here. I think he has to continue to pressure, but I don't think he should be so hesitant to attack palisade walls. He's got light cav and knights. Why is he hesitant to attack palisade walls next to the TC?
Camels were just chasing him. And
fair.
That's why he went to the top. Oh, now regrouping. That's a lot of meat here.
Oh, man. And the TC's there as well. This might not be the best fight for Liereyy. Villagers hop inside the TC. Liereyy commits to the fight. You know he'll use the skirmishers against those crossbows. Ridiculous scenes here in King of the Desert 3. I think after all is said and done, Yo's going to be better off.
He can click up, and he kept his most important units alive. I think like 2-3 crossbows died there. That is absolutely okay for Mr. Yo.
Nilly, we talked about it so many times, and it was working well for Liereyy. Keep moving. You know, keep moving, trying to raid. There's gaps in the south. You could have attacked the palisades in the north. Loop around. Keep Yo on the run. Yo is building a castle with 27 villagers, which will surely go up. And Yo is on the way to imp.
Oh, that's so good. But I think Liereyy is thinking about it as well. Extra gold spots, by the way, something we didn't mention, both at the south of the map.
South, where players haven't even looked. It's been about every other area of the map.
Oh, yeah.
Not the south.
No vision?
Yeah, neither of them see the golds down there. It is 2 relics. And, of course, Saracen Market for Mr. Yo. And also, Liereyy alerts him to the fact he's open down here. So I think he'll plug that gap. Ridiculous.
Okay, what are the army compositions going to be? That's a matchup we don't see too often.
Yeah, it's got to be Skirm. You need Skirm if you're Liereyy. I think Skirm Hussar, and you hope for the best, because you don't have that much gold income. You also can't justify, like, if you go Cavalier, Saracens have camels, and there's already a lot of Arbs. I think you use mobility, you keep spamming farms, you go Skirm, you go Hussar, and then use gold later if you're Liereyy. And then for Yo, it's all about killing early imp with Arbalest.
Where is Liereyy even getting gold? He has one small mine left there.
Did he use all of his gold?
It's 1.3k gold left only for him to mine.
I don't even see it.
Yeah.
It's too... Oh, I see it.
Yep. Gold trash.
Yeah, he has to go trash. On the bright side for him, though... Oh, Yo found the gold in the south. That's not what I was going to say as the bright side. that is not bright at all. You also can't take his stone. Yo's been on it. No, I was going to say on the bright side, at least, there's still some gaps in the south where Yo will overchop and Yo is not walled.
Finally, lovely castle there at the top for Mr. Yo. As I said, not the most important area, but will control the stones, will allow him to get another castle up later there. Crossbows now very aggressive here.
Yeah, very aggressive. Do you want to be in this situation? Probably not. Now, Liereyy did scout the gold. So he just scouted the gold, but he's getting pushed away by camels. Oh, and I thought the game froze there for a second.
Okay, what upgrades are we focusing on? Arbalest will come in 1 hour, 17 seconds mark. Same goes for Bracer. Chemistry flies in shortly behind this one, so full focus on that. Would love to see some Hussars being mixed in by Mr. Yo as well, who now rushes the TC out at the bottom. Not spotted by Liereyy.
He's overchopped. I'm pretty sure there's an overchop in that wood line. Oh, never mind. Yo sees it. And yeah, unfortunately for Liereyy, he didn't hit the gold. That would have been a huge move for him.
Lots of dead villagers. Let's take a look. Quick wall is an option there. Siege workshop, gate, market.
Nothing. I think Yo at this point, he's really focused on expanding to the north now, Nilly. With that castle there. He's going to lock down his base so he can't be raided to death. And he's really got to push forward with those arbalests. He does have more access to resources. He does have 2 relics, but he's up against Khmer. If you've ever seen Khmer in post-imp, one of the best post-imp civs just because of those farms.
It sounds super weird, but I actually think Mr. Yo could go for champions here.
You did? Oh, no, it wasn't him. I was thinking of someone else going champions in a weird spot. It does seem weird, but I'd say it only makes sense if he has upwards of, like, 50 farms.
Okay. Yeah.
He doesn't have a lot of food eco right now. He's been working on getting that up. Whereas it's 69 farms for Liereyy, and he's only making trash. And here I think you use the gold for siege and nothing else. Look at Liereyy! Non-stop spam to the south.
Yeah, we need a castle there as well. It's kind of in between 2 castles, and those are just going through. If you had a wall that area, that alone would do enough.
Yeah, Yo has yet to push forward with his Arbalest. It is 180 population for Liereyy, 0 relics. He's been through so much in this game. Oh my word. I still don't know who's winning because Yo, while he seems to be struggling dealing with the raids, he is in a good spot when it comes to gold control.
He needs to get more farmers up. 20 more farmers and Yo is winning this one.
Yeah.
But there's just so much raids. So much annoyance by Liereyy.
Everywhere you look. This might be a good fight for
Who's
Liereyy.
leading in this game either.
What's that?
The score can't decide on who's winning either.
Ah, yeah, true. I think that while it looks good for Yo, is a good fight for Liereyy because he removed a lot of the Arbalest from the equation and he can just simply spam more. Just now getting ballistics.
Ooh, so late upgrades there. Hussar only now, ballistics only now, heavy plow only now. Ooh, strategic pause.
There's a pause, and can you blame them? Like, take a breather. 1 hour, 3 minutes in. The best part about this is the game of the series, and maybe even the game of the tournament thus far. How is this gonna go? I mean, there's still that extra gold for Yo in the south. He's probably about to place a castle there, and he can see both those golds. He does also have that castle in the north. I think the bad thing for Liereyy is he hasn't had any follow-up siege to these raids. So he's raiding, but there's no follow-up to really go for the killing blow.
Well, only now he's building his first castle, right? So only now he can go for traps. Rams earlier might have been an option. He's just so starved on gold.
You could sell a bit. The prices aren't going to be all that good. Because Yo spent a lot of the game using the market. In fact,
look
at the prices.
Food, 93 to sell. That would be really good for a Khmer player with 68 farms.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. I mean, I suppose if Yo spent a lot of the game buying food, the price might be decent to sell it. Yeah, I think Liereyy should be doing that now. And we're back in business, folks. Liereyy making a mad dash to the south. Yo well aware he needs to lock that down and has some camels there. I think, you mentioned champion as a good idea. If he wants a mobile option, heavy camel would make sense with a lot of gold, but it's still tough for me to justify when there's so many halbs out.
Yeah, they're not the craziest thing against trash. They're good against skirmishes and hussars, obviously, but we need something good against everything, and that's, in my opinion, simply champions.
I'm really surprised to see Yo building the castle where he's building it. I thought he'd build it on the hill next to the TC in the south. But he's going to build it there to also protect that stone. That's not too bad.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind it too much. Like, you need to send, like, at least 6 hussars now to go through there and make a raid happen.
Arbalest pushing forward. I think Yo has found some room to breathe. He's adding stables. I think he might just match the hussars of Lierey's to get some mobile raids in. And what's Liereyy up to now? That castle just completed. It's certainly a target for Yo, who's got castles surrounding this. Making a treb now. And Liereyy trying to break through those palisades. Yo needs to eject and wall. It sounds crazy, but if he doesn't do it, he gives some momentum to Liereyy. There's so many farms back here. And Yo says, I'm sorry, this area is under construction. Please come back another time. and also, wood line, over top, 12 wood. 9 wood.
Yeah.
7 wood. And oh, Yo pulled off the tree.
That's
Wow.
so good. That's so good.
There's
And
still
some
another
other
hole,
wall
but-
there. Yeah, but then you have to run into a castle again. Another wall there. Double house. Oh god, this boy is on fire.
What? Now he's also being raided in the south, and Liereyy will break through the palisades on the left side. So the raids will actually be pretty good for Liereyy here, and just don't trickle trap Liereyy. He's already taking out the castle in the south. He's raiding with more hussars. Where are the hussars even coming from? He could actually win this with these raids.
89 farmers. Remember, Saracens don't get halberdiers, so the natural answer not really there. All the other answers
92 farms! 92 farms for Liereyy!
and one more beautiful than the other one.
Oh my god, there's probably some crazy ones out there, I'm sure.
Oh, he actually built a mill.
Did he make a mill for a Khmer farm? I'd look if I felt like it was necessary. He's got 26 hussars queued.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. I see a...
Oh, I shouldn't say that, right?
What? Anyways, I think Yo, after dealing with all those raids, is really far behind. He has 50 idols. He can't deal with the hussars.
42 arbalists behind. He's still clearing this one quite easily. Isn't pikeman still an option?
I don't like
just
it.
do full hussars yourself.
I don't like it. No, I think you just get a meat shield for your arbs. I also don't like this fight from Mr. Yo. Remember, it's 3-2 with relics now. Hussars are just so sick. And it's non-stop spam. You might as well be Gops spamming like Huskarls.
29 hussars in the queue here. He is just overwhelming this one. This was the moment, you said it earlier. He was pushing so much, he was raiding so much, he was only lacking siege and finally gets 2 traps and is pushing massively.
And I think this is where the game ends. There's holes in the wall. Yo has held on for so long. You could argue that the person who's been holding longer in this game has been Liereyy, and he found a way back. So many different counters he's had in this game. It's 140 pop for Yo. That's it? And he's still losing pop? Liereyy could
man,
just
you have
take
to be-
all the castles out.
You have to be so proud of yourself winning this game. Just constant action, absolutely high level Age of Empires, more raids at the top, constant pressure in the center, and yeah, meat shield simply isn't there anymore. 5 light cap, that's all that Yo has so
And
far.
also saving Khmer. Because if he had Burmese here, say goodnight. Would have been a completely different game. The Arbalest! I think at this point, the Arbalest are like, you know what? Put me out of my misery. I know I'm going to die. Don't torture me. Just make it end fast. Fast and painless. 100 pop for Yo. It's heartbreaking to see him dip out here. To make it all the way here. Go for the YOLO. Get so close. But Mr. Yo, after beating TheViper in the quarterfinals 3-0, is out. It will be a Liereyy MBL final. What a performance and what a series.
Oh, so good. That last game just blew my mind. That was the push, Saracens tricky play, the walls. This game felt endless. Just think about it. We had the all-in castle there, which was, what, like 35 minutes ago
Yeah.
or something, with 15 villagers, then losing the TC. Liereyy had to go back, so many counterattacks. And, oh god, behind this, the economies were running so well. Liereyy against MBL is going to be a sick final.
Like, as casters, I feel like we have a pretty good grasp, or at least you do, Nilly, on how games develop, right? And so normally what happens is we know what usually results from one player making a certain move. And so there were instances in this game where Yo would, let's say, make a positive move, and I would genuinely think this is going to be near impossible for Liereyy to match it. And Liereyy would just match it. And then Liereyy would do the same thing. Something would happen very good for him. And I'm thinking, wow, Yo's not going to have map control. He's not going to have this, going to have that. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, Yo is there. It was genuinely back and forth. It was head-to-head, neck and neck. But if you compare the Civ matchup, Khmer are better in post-imp. They have the farmers. They have the spam potential. This is probably one of their best ages, despite lacking a lot of like really strong gold units to go for in competitive games. And it was Liereyy surviving. It took a lot longer than we thought it would with the survival, but he weathered the Saracen storm. Crazy.
The thing is, if there's a very long castle age time, your hard-hitting gold imp units aren't that important because both people will be already starved on gold anyways.
That's true as well. Yep, that is true as well. Also, and I'm trying to think now, what could Yo have done differently? Hard to say in a game that's so close to perfect from both. But I think that, well,
I think
yeah,
he needed a gate at home, a wall and a gate.
Yeah.
Like he opened himself so that the knights are getting to the front. Just build a gate, and you're so much safer.
and past that point, I think you have to make a commitment with the Arbs. Like, he was reacting when he had castles on the flanks. I think maybe you try and use more mobile units. I don't know if you can get enough camels out to deal with those light cav and push with those Arbs faster. We're currently 1 hour and 11 minutes in this game, and they imped at 1 hour. But still, for the last 11 minutes, Yo, who had those upgrades before Hussar came in, before all the upgrades came in for Liereyy skirmishers, didn't push. But the reason there was no push, as we see the food difference, which is just crazy, is probably because of Lierey's constant aggression.
Yeah, like forcing those villagers to die or go idle, Khmer economy, and it simply was like 92 farms, or 97 farms in the end. And Mr. Yo, at the end of the game, had 15 working farmers.
Yeah, and Khmer farms do not have drop-off points. And that's what it says in the tech tree. But the other thing with Khmer, ever since this bonus was added, they drop off the food instantly. Like, it's just like constant drop-off. They don't collect 10 food, then drop it off, standing wherever they're at. No, they actually constantly drop off that food. And it leads to a very satisfying look when you're watching your food count spike up. My goodness, Nilly. I'm even looking at the timeline. Look at that timeline! Oh. Beautiful.
Yeah, a crazy, crazy game for sure. Tomorrow, 15 GMT, best of 11 finals, Tristan.
Best of 11 finals.
Versus Liereyy.
MBL versus Liereyy. Now, these guys were really close today, Yo and Liereyy. But many people expected this to be close. I think that's going to be beyond MBL's group stage set against Mr. Yo. It's going to be MBL's first real test against a top 5 player in this tournament, right?
Well, he had Chart and Stray Dog in his group, so arguably not top 5. And then he had Veles in the semifinal. Quarterfinals was Dogao. Well, not top 5. Some people might consider him top 10.
Yeah. Okay, so I think if it's best of 5, best of 7, Liereyy, he's just like lights out really fast, has run really good with tournament results against MBL. There's one thing about the final tomorrow that makes me think MBL has a good run at it and a good shot. And it's simply the fact that it is a best of 11 final. This was a ridiculous set of games. The quality the players have to play as good as Yo and Liereyy just did is unreal. But it gets messy. And MBL is known for playing for 12 hours a day. And I think he'll have the stamina.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think that's like both should be fine there. I don't remember Liereyy ever complaining about too long series.
Yeah, fair. Well, Nilly, thank you for casting today with me. It was awesome. And I think we had some special moments in it too. I'll look back on later on tonight. I'm going to wrap things up here on this end and enjoy my afternoon and talk about the finals, and appreciate everything today. It was cool stuff.
It was lovely. I just looked through the stats, by the way. The last 3 sets they faced each other were 5-0 Liereyy, 3-0 Liereyy, 3-1 Liereyy.
Yeah.
But those were all quite some time ago.
Yeah. A lot has changed. It's different settings too. But yeah, thanks for that data. All right, Nilly, we'll see you.
See ya.